Yeah, okay, let's do this. Hello, hello.
Yippee!
Yippee. Yippee indeed.
Yippee!
Hello. How you doing?
Yippee!
Yippee.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I need to readjust myself because I messed up.
You're totally good.
Uh,
It's a little how she moves.
There.
She goes like,
Yeah.
yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Over the radio, and right, it's kind of like a radio style, right? Let me boost up
Yeah.
your sound really quick. Your sound up. Let's make sure
I
people
need to be louder.
there you go.
Loud.
Yowder. All right. I hope you guys can hear her lovely voice, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
You're a fan of Aki for a long time. I see. Well, Nova, it's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Hello. I see you all over my Twitter, all over the place.
Hey yo. Hey
Oh,
yo. Hey yo.
Oh,
Hey
it's
yo.
great to see you. Great to see you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I actually started watching a lot of your content because I watched a lot of the people you actually watch. So it's just great to see you.
Oh.
Oh. The ID. I watched ID. I saw Hazel.
ID, Hazy. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, this is a fun little adorable little doggo. I want to check out her and her funny antics. Invite her to my show. So thank you so much for coming to my show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate being on the show, even though I am totally not late. I totally planned this. This was all according to Keikaku. I never am late to anything.
Never late.
Never.
No. Yeah, never late. It's not, you wasn't just sleeping. Just a little bit.
Yeah, this interview wasn't supposed to happen 2 hours ago. Totally not my fault. Anyway.
Yeah, totally. No. They arrive when they mean to. Exactly. Well, hello everyone. This is a fun little VTuber talk show we like to host each and every week where we get to know a brand new VTuber. This week we have a very lovely, adorable guest. How about you introduce yourself to the very few people who might not know who you are?
So, I'm Aki. I do a lot of Nintendo games, speedruns, charity events, and challenges, but today we are doing an interview with TrickcoTTV. I kind of just do a variety of content. I don't really do like any sort of specific thing. Like I don't just leave myself to just only doing specific content. I used to be known by a handful of people that I like, only played Nintendo games, and I kind of just like I've played several other things like Okami, Minecraft, and a couple of other things that I can't necessarily think off the top of my head, but I definitely know that I'm not only estranged to Nintendo games. Although that is the big bit that happens every once in a while where I'm just like, oh, I'm just a little Nintendo baby. I don't know anything. So
You only do Nintendo stuff. Only Nintendo.
Only Nintendo stuff. You only do Nintendo stuff. You don't do anything else.
No.
Not to just scrape over the fact that I'm currently playing Final Fantasy VII. So
Exactly, because we know Mario is totally in Final Fantasy VII. You know, he's the guy with the long white hair and a giant sword and one wing, right? That's Mario.
And he
Mario,
enjoys having his hair being pulled. Anyway,
I didn't know that part of it. How do you know about this?
Experienced.
Well, I'll take your word for it. I'm pretty sure this is super accurate. 100%. Yeah,
Oh no, super duper accurate.
Super
Yeah.
accurate. Well, for those who've never been to my show before, we'll be asking 15 questions to a lovely guest here. We'll be getting to know them, the content creator, all the fun ins and outs of them, some upcoming events, some past events, and get into their model and the thoughts that went into it. Sit back, relax, have your favorite orange juice. You look like you like orange juice.
I actually don't.
What? Why are you orange? Why are you orange?
I just like the color orange, and I like orange Shibas. I don't actually like orange juice. Orange juice, like if I have to drink it, it would have to be with pulp, and it's just like I would be like, all right, I'll just drink it, I guess.
Irony, right? Irony. Now we get like, I don't know if you ever did you ever tell your community that you don't like orange juice?
I think I've told them like a couple of times, but the thing is that they don't really ask me of whether I like it or not. They just ask me if I drink it with or without pulp.
Oh.
And I kind of just sit there and be like, yeah, I drink it, I guess.
Well, hey, I guess everyone now knows the word is out. You don't like orange juice.
No, no, I don't really like
Do you like
orange
oranges?
juice.
Do you like orange flavor?
Orange, like the fruit is fine because I could
Okay.
eat the fruit. But like if I actually eat, like drink it or anything like that, I kind of just like go in a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. Well, if you guys like the orange juice, definitely sit back and have a little bit of that with some popcorn, because orange juice and popcorn that just tastes really good. Orange juice and Oreos taste freaking amazing. Did you know that?
No, I could believe that. I could think like a tangy taste with the creamy. Yeah, no, that probably is fine. It's not the weirdest combination I've heard because I've had some friends like tell me like, oh yeah, potato chips and milk, and I'm like, I don't know about that one.
I know, yeah, I know about that one.
Salty and sweet, like I get it, but
I
also like,
guess. Yeah, I know,
no.
I know about that one. I know about that one. But I know, definitely try it. Definitely try it. Definitely recommend it. But let's get started with the first question. Also, by the way, if you guys like to ask your own questions to a lovely guest here, you can definitely go for it. Just ask away. We'll try and get to it the best we can. If you don't have a question but you still want to tribute to the interview, we do have a spin the wheel redeem. A random spin the wheel will pop up, and then it will pop up and spin for you guys. It should be awesome. Yeah, sit back, relax. Awesome. Do you want to get in on this fun little antics?
Whatever you'd like, whatever you want to do, I'm here.
I was talking to the dog.
Oh,
Does he talk?
hold on.
Does he talk? You know, it'd be super lame, but I could see other people do this. What if we just made this entire interview for the dog? I was like, hey, I appreciate you as the dog owner being here, but this is mostly for the dog.
I can't interact with him as
Oh,
I
no.
thought I was going to. I can make him talk, but the thing is like it's not hooked up to it's not it's not hooked up to the VRM thing, so that he won't be like whatever he say won't come out.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, because I muted the mic through Video Ninja.
No worries, makes sense. You totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if we can't have the star of the show, Riki.
Yeah, I will make.
I guess you'll do, right?
I'll make him a hamburger. He's a hamburger now.
No, I'm joking. Once guys, I'm actually really joking. But let's get into you and all your stuff. And what better way to start off an interview than to start off how it all got started in the first place? Why and when did you want to get into streaming?
Boy. So I tried out streaming a long time ago with my boyfriend. We were mostly just playing we were kind of doing like a let's play channel at first, where we kind of just like picked a random game that one of us had never played, and then the other one had played like a decent amount, and then like the other person was basically there to help guide them in case like the other one got lost.
I like that. That's good.
Something I think the first playthrough we ever started out with was Metal Gear Solid, which I had never played.
Love that game.
We started out with that one, and it was it could tell you could tell there's a lot of forced humor in it, and a lot of like Colonel. Like just like that over and over and over again. And it's just like it surely like if you watched it in comparison to my current content, you'd be like, wow, these are completely two different people, and you'd be right.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
So I did that, and then we did like a couple of collabs with friends where we did like Four Swords Adventures. We did like some Mario Party stuff like that, but it was very, very much like indifferent to the kind of content that I do now. For instance, I would only stream for 3, maybe 4 hours, and it was like every day. Wow. It was every day, like after work, where we would get on for like a couple hours, and then that would be it. That eventually like caused like so much burnout that like I just needed to take like a huge break. I had a lot of like internal problems and a lot of other things that was going on mentally, so I had to go see a therapist for a little while. And I came back, and during the pandemic, I got really into watching Corona,
Makes sense.
and in fact, I've been called English Corona a couple
Corona, I
times.
love it. Corona is amazing. I love Corona.
Because we both do a lot of retro games. We both do a lot of like you know, not necessarily Nintendo, but just definitely a lot of like retro like video games. We don't really play a lot of modern games. So I think it's like very fitting. And more or less like I kind of just went with my own idea of what I wanted to be, and the thing that I noticed the most was that like there's a lot of dog VTubers, but there's no like Shiba VTubers. Like Shibas just don't exist. Like in fact, I can only think of 3 of them off the top of my head.
That's true. There's not that many if you think about it. Even though Shibus are freaking adorable.
No, Shibas are like very like popular, but there is no like Shiba VTubers. Like I would argue that like out of all the Shiba VTubers that I know, I'm probably the most well known.
That's cool.
Like that's about it. Yeah.
Well, still freaking awesome. I'd love to see it. You know, I'd love to see the most famous dog VTuber on our show.
No, not the most famous dog. The most famous dog VTuber definitely probably goes to like Corona or like somebody else, but not me. No.
Well, you're the coolest, right? With the you put on like cool glasses on, sunglasses. You're the most funniest.
Maybe.
Most funniest.
I don't know. I'm the
orangiest. Yes, the orangiest. Yes.
Yeah.
You're the orangiest dog VTuber out there, right? You know what? That's still just as cool. That's still just as cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I love to see it. I love how it first started off with just a passion project you had with your significant other. Oops, sorry. And you just kind of developed into its own thing. Now there was some rough patches in the beginning because burnout. Because guys, don't stream every day. Don't stream every day. Do not do that.
No, that was like one of the biggest caveats. Was like my thought process was like, oh, this is my time to hang out and just do whatever I want with either friends or like my significant other or whatever. And I thought that was like a good idea. But then I realized like, oh, but now I'm just like making my life essentially on camera at all times every single day for 3 to 4 hours. It's no different than like what Stephen George is currently going through. For those who don't know, Stephen George is a vlog VTuber that I watched for over 15 years now.
Wow.
And he has had a vlog every single day for 15 years.
Jeez.
Like straight. And only now has he said that like, hey, I'm taking a break. And he took a whole month break from the vlog for the first time. And it's really weird because it's like, you know, the vlog, man, it's been something that's been attached to you for so long and you've been doing it every single day for that many years. It's just really strange all of a sudden to take a break. But I totally understand, and I think it's important to, you know, practice self-care and all those sorts of things. But I didn't really necessarily get into the why factor of wanting to be a content creator. I've stated when, but I'll tell you why. Ever since I was a kid, I watched a lot of TrickcoConroy. I watched a lot of Markiplier. All those sorts of like old school content creators. I watched Vinny Vinesauce. And for 10 years or so, I was just kind of trying to build a fan base, just trying to make something that stuck. And nothing stuck for the longest time until I became a VTuber. The moment I became a VTuber, I actually saw somewhat of converting success. Like, I was able to get Twitch partner. I was able to get YouTube partner for the very first time. And you know, it's like all these sorts of things. Like I was met with success with my personality and the ideas that I do, versus all the stuff that I did within the combination of 10 years since I was like, you know, a kid to where I am today. You know, I've tried Minecraft servers, I've tried Let's Play servers, I've tried informative content, I've tried I hate this part. I tried bait and drama content once, and
Oh no!
it wasn't fun. I hated that.
Bait and drama.
I did one or two videos about it where it was more or less making fun of Leafy is here, and that did not go very well. I have drowned it and that kind of stuff. I hated, like, I watched a lot of, like, when I was in my later teens, like 17, 18 years old, I would watch a lot of Leafy and Drama Alert and Grade A Under A.
I know.
And I watched that stuff and I consumed it. It became such a negative energy for me that I just, like, I can't do this to myself anymore because it's just genuinely harmful. So I stopped that kind of content. I tried music. I did a lot of guitar covers, and that didn't go so well. Just basically every single idea that I was trying just didn't work. And it was only until I moved in with my significant other that I was just like, all right, I'm gonna actually try and, like, genuinely give it my all and see, like, if this will change anything. And for about 2.5 years since I've been doing VTubing, it actually went somewhere. So
Nice.
but to get into the real reason, I just kind of want to uplift other people. I kind of want to just make, like, a content space that allows me to bring other people up and make content that other people enjoy, but also just, like, if I can inspire and create a space that lets people do the same things for other people, then that's what I want.
Cool. I like that. You create a community where you want to not only give them content that they want to enjoy and you enjoy making, you also want to inspire other people to want to do the same, which I think is really inspirational. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
What Nova says, you're a good being. Very good. Very good. Very good. I like that. Very good. Cool. Awesome. I do see what is a desk agent? Desk agent has actually pulled off for a spin. So we're going to check out the first spin of the night. Are you ready for it?
Sure. What's up?
Awesome. Here's the first spin of the night. Let's see what Desk was saying. I know the feeling I've been trying different things to spark the sense of passion I've been longing for, going through life with no love for what it is isn't any fun. True, rabbit. Yeah, that's very true, rabbit. Do you have a favorite joke?
I have a favorite bit, but not, like, necessarily a favorite joke.
What's your favorite bit?
It's when Vinny Vinesauce, like, makes fun of the fact that people keep on asking him to play DMC2 even though he's already played DMC2.
Oh, so this is like
where he, like, does, like, this really, really silly dumb voice where it's like, but please play DMC2 is good, please play right now, do not play Bayonetta bad. DM beef stew. Yeah, no. Or he'll, like, use the word, like, he'll say spin because it's, like, in the playthroughs, very often his character or something else will spin randomly. And he'll say it in such a weird inflection that is, like, not only just, like, canny, but also just, like, it's super campy and just, like, really funny. Where he goes, spin! Like that. You know, it's just so funny to me, and I just love it. So
I love that. That's so adorable. I love it. I don't know the person. I don't know if I grew up with that person, but it sounds funny. Kind of sounds familiar
Vinny
too.
Sauce is really, really funny. Yeah.
Might have to check out his stuff. It's been a while since I've heard that, but I recognize someone. I recognize that voice, so I wonder if I heard of something. Maybe. But yeah, no. Going back to what Rapid was saying is like like having different sparks to spark like a passion is definitely something that is very like common in the the content creating space. You know, being a variety and just want to try something and just see what fits. Like when I first started streaming, I was unfortunately I was a League of Legends streamer, so like I was doing League of Legends content.
I fell into that rabbit hole too.
Exactly.
I know what it's like. Yeah.
We have recovered.
in high school, I almost dropped out of high school because of that game because I was
Jeez,
trying to
really?
defend my plat. Yeah.
Platinum. No,
Yeah.
no. But like,
I play that game for 6-7 hours a day, and I would skip classes for
yeah.
it.
I wasn't that much into it. I did try. I did destroy a freaking laptop. Playing too much of it. Like it just died on me. Just burnt out, so I couldn't play anymore. Welcome to the rabbit hole. But I did that. Then I did Let's Plays because I also was inspired by Markiplier and like his Let's Plays. So I try to do Let's Plays too. Then I did gaming news updates, which I still like dabbled in that every now and then. Still talk about it because I just think it's a lot of fun to talk about the gaming news updates and stuff like that. But then I got into VTubing, and then I got into VTubing interviews, and that's what really carried me because I just love doing this show and just interacting with other people. So much fun. But no, I definitely see the point of like being a content creator and trying out a lot of different things to see what sticks. And glad to see that like what you're doing right now seems to be working very well for you. And I'm imagining you really enjoy doing it, which is always a good plus. It's always a good plus.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of fun doing the things that I do. Like, yeah, every once in a while I have like a mental hiccup where it's like, oh man, like I could have done better on this, or like, this week isn't doing so good, or like, or you just feel like, every once in a while you could feel like you're behind on something. But at the end of the day, the thing that I needed to remind myself very often, and I posted it today because I was like, hey, remind yourself about this because it's very easy to compare yourself to other people. But at the same time, I reminded myself that the first thing to making something feel like nothing is comparing it to something else. And I needed to remind myself and maybe a couple other people, because some people like also was like, hey, thanks for this, reminded myself that I'm very unique. I have a very unique take on things, just like everybody else does. And forgetting about that is very easy, but once you remind yourself, you kind of go back on your path and steer your course a little bit. So
Oh, that's a good mindset.
I think,
Good mindset.
yeah. I mean, I think it's really normal. Like, I think imposter syndrome is a thing that every content creator will go through. I think like it is very normal to feel in some aspects, like especially if like some of your other peers like grow a lot significantly faster than you are, it definitely is normal to feel like, oh man, like I'm behind, like, I get it. But the thing that I needed to remind myself, and also like a handful of other people, is that everyone grows differently and everyone has their own communities and own unique things. So it's not necessarily like a trait that people can pick up. It is something that you have to kind of just deal with. Like, you will plateau for a little while and or you'll go straight down. But the nice thing about plateauing and going straight down is that the only direction you can go is up.
True.
So
some very inspirational words from a lovely orange doggo. Well, you answered a couple of my questions already while you were saying that, but let's get into a couple more. No, he's totally fine. He's totally fine. Next question I actually wanted to ask you is, what do you like the most about being a VTuber content creator specifically?
Well, there's a lot of things. When I was at Live 2D, the thing that I really, really liked about streaming is that you can make really, really unique Twitch redeems that don't necessarily work with someone who is of human variety. I think like the thing that I enjoy about Twitch redeems is how like customizable they can be, how fluid they can turn out to be. Like, for instance, I have like my own Paper Mario 1000-Year Door redeem where it like has like a crowd and like the audience can get struck by rocks, or like somebody can throw something at me and like it'll put like a filter on top of me, and it's just very, very all in one thing, and it also just feels very, very like natural. It doesn't like disrupt the stream in any way, like, because there's still like a little bit of a sliver of the screen that you could still see, and it happens pretty quickly. It only lasts like anywhere between 9 and 12 seconds. So it doesn't really disrupt a lot of stuff. I also have like, the meme punch in of like it punches in the screen a little bit and then it has like text at the bottom that just says like what with like the earthbound text or not the earthbound text, earthbound music or whatever. Like just silly little like jokes like that I have as a combination on my stream that I think is a lot of fun because there's so much that you can do with this medium that I feel like has not been tapped in yet. We are just now getting into that point. Like for instance, I think within the next like couple years, like 3D is going to be the meta. Because there's just so much you can do with it. You can ragdoll, you can, move really, really quickly with it. You can do a lot of hand tracking that's a lot more nicer and more smooth in comparison to Live 2D. I think 3D is going to be like a massive jump. Not only that, but I would also argue that 3D is significantly cheaper and easier for your buck. It's why I always kind of like tell people if people want to start streaming now, I always tell people that like you should invest into getting a Vroid or like a PNG tuber. Anything like that I think is very, 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 very good. There's a lot of like pick crews that are available for people that people can use that are free so long as they credit the artists and stuff like that. I know a lot of people use pick crews, but very more specifically is if you have an iPhone or an Android phone. I think Android phones count now because they have the same feature for phone tracking. Get a Vroid, get VC Face, or get whatever V-Bridger. Well, no, V-Bridger is more specifically for
iPhone.
For iPhone and VTube Studio. But I would just recommend getting like VNAN or Vroid or VC Face and just kind of using that. It's like even back in the day, because I remember back in like 2009, 2010, we had this program. What was it called? Oh, I just had the name of it and I just forgot about it. Oh no, it's not VR Chat. It was a neat little program. Face Rig. We had Face Rig back in the day, and I know a lot of people used it on Skype, and I know a lot of people used it like we used to have like these little online school meetings because my school was very weird. They like if there was like an inch of snow on the floor, they would just be like, nope, can't do it. I'm like, all right, but then they would force you to go to school on a digital platform, so it was very strange. So I know some of the students would use. I know some student would use Face Rig, and he played as a raccoon. It was very cute.
Oh, and there's some like Summer Wars kind of aspect right there. If you know what the anime is.
Yeah. So like basically what I'm saying is like there's a lot to do and there's a lot of flexibility, especially like at least with 3D, because like the more I learned about 3D and getting into that, the more I had like access to a lot of like things that I really, really wanted to do. When I was a live 2D, I could still do like a handful of things that I wanted to, but I realized that there was a lot of limitations with it. Like, for instance, like now as a 3D model, I can ragdoll, I can adjust the angles of my character, I can make her sit, I can make her blink, I can do a lot of other things that I always wanted to do. Also, getting new outfits and new designs and everything is a lot cheaper. That sort of thing. And nothing against Live 2D. I know why people get Live 2D. It's very, very pretty. It's the industry standard. A lot of Hololive, a lot of Ninja Sanji, and VShojo have a lot of Live 2D models. It totally makes sense. It is also like somewhat. I don't know if I would call it a status symbol. I would simply say that it's a matter of preference. I will say that using a Live 2D, a lot of people tend to like it because it's very pretty. It's why I have learned to figure out how to make my 3D model more 2D like. So I went with a lot of like harsh shading, a lot of like we fiddled around with making the model more like 2D asset kind of way. So if I sit still and not move too much, it does kind of look like a live 2D, thankfully.
The
And it doesn't.
outline helps out with that too.
Oh yes, absolutely. And then the other thing is that it's a fairly like not really big model. Like if you like here, I could probably let me see how big it is actually, because I know a lot of live 2D models are huge. Like they're really big usually. My model in particular is, let's see here.
How many Mario 64 Mario models units is it?
So my model is less than 20 megabytes.
20 megabytes, really?
Less than 20 megabytes.
How many Mario 64 models are there?
Let me see here. Let me look.
These are very important questions to ask. Yes, you need to make sure how many Mario 64 Mario models is your model.
Sure.
Only the hard-hitting questions here on this show. Only hard-hitting.
So Mario is 156 kilobytes. So if I do the math correctly, calculator. If I remember correctly, 19 megabytes is what, 19,000 kilobytes?
I think so. In hindsight, I should have said polygons.
So it would require 121 Marios to make my model.
I love that.
That would basically mean that if we're dividing this by how many processing power is required on the N64, which I think is like 4 megabytes, that would require 487 N64s.
Wow, you're pretty demanding. Look at you. You have to use so much Nintendo 64 just to run you.
If I wanted to run it perfectly, and like you could probably import the model itself without doing anything. But I think it would require a lot of processing power.
But but compared to like an actual 2D model, like your model is actually pretty small.
And compared to a live 2D model, it is significantly smaller. Like I had like my first very first model was, I believe, 56 megabytes. And then the model afterwards, because there was a lot of toggles, there was a lot of new stuff packaged in, it was like 120. And then my third model, which didn't last very long, it was over 400 megabytes. These things add up. Now the thing is I'm talking about like just general size. I'm not talking about texture size. Like the textures that were on those, like for instance, Live 2D is split into several pieces, and they're all just like all the pieces layered on top of each other to create the illusion of 3D. It's kind of like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. If you were to like change the angle of the camera, you would see that Mario is layered like a bunch of sprites. Think of it like that. And the way that works is that if you have like a 2.5K model or a 4K model, which some people have, it requires a lot of processing power on your computer. So if someone has like a huge model like that, I always kind of strongly recommend that, like, hey, probably for the best not to stream video games and the VTube model and stream at the same time, because you're gonna use a lot of VRAM, and that's gonna like not destroy your computer, but it's gonna take a lot of power to do so. So I always kind of recommend like 2 PC setup, or like a PC with a console of some kind. It's just a lot of extra work to use Live 2D, and that's not a problem. It's not a problem. I just think that's like slowly becoming like an issue, where some people are just not able to run a extremely high quality model like they want to. And I think if you want to get a much more bang for your buck, I have had only a couple problems with VNAND, but I have never had a problem where VNAND starts chugging or requiring way too much power than it needs. And like I could run games on my PC with my VNAND model perfectly fine, but the moment I open up VTube Studio, like for instance, I had a collab not too long ago with VTube Studio using Open for my own game show, and only having VTube Studio and VNAND open, and VTube Studio was trying to fight OBS and VNAND for more RAM. It's kind of crazy. Like, nothing against like VTube Studio. I think that they are trying to optimize it. They are trying to make it better. But it is a RAM guzzler. It will eat your RAM like Google Chrome. So like if you don't have a very strong enough computer, you should, look into that kind of stuff. It's really all up to preference. Like if you're gonna do these sorts of things, you might need certain parts. I do think that like Vroid and Pet Crew and like 3D models is a lot cheaper for your buck and might be better on your hardware overall.
True. You guys just have to do your own research. Whatever you want to do. So when you make a VTuber model, have a theme. And if you feel like the theme will fit better as a 2D model, then definitely go for that and invest into it. If you think it works out better as a 3D model, then go for it. Have fun. Like if you like to do live VR chats, maybe 3D might be a little bit more up to your standards. If you like to do like a little more still images and stuff like that, then maybe do that. But also don't be afraid to not even do either one. I've met a lot of amazing people who are just PNG tubers who are freaking amazing and hilarious.
I would also say that the other argument that I would give for 3D is that there is a chance that if you want to use your 3D model in say like a game, or if you want to use it like for VRM, or if you want to use it for VR chat, you have like those advantages already right out the gate. Like you could put yourself in Miku Miku Dance. You could probably put yourself into some games that are easy and that use VRM, and just attach your model to whatever else you want right out the gate. I know there's like 2 fighting games that you could put your VRM model and it'll just work. I think it's called VRAST, I think is what it's called. I used to use it where I would have like my friends like send me their VRM models and we would just kind of fight and duke it out. I know Deeper also did something very similar that I had as well, so it was kind of cool to see that. But yeah, basically, like, there's a lot of like stuff that you could do with 3D. There's just as much as there's advantages and disadvantages for both. I would argue.
Cool. Yeah, no, there's pros and cons for everything. Pros, cons for it. Yeah. Now you answered this question quite a bit already, but just in case, if you want to go into,
I answered the question already. Damn it! I'm not supposed to do that. I got ahead of it. No,
you're totally fine. Your flow is like a flow of chaotic gremlinness, which is totally fine because it's chaotic and wild, but I can understand it and follow it. So like it's totally fine. And my interviews are mostly just the questions are just to keep us on track. So if we if we answered like the last 5 questions before we even get to the 3rd question, it's not the worst thing. It just to keep conversations going and having discussion.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I don't mind it at all. But just to continue with the trail of the interview.
And the stream is over, Rocky.
And you're answering every question already. No, you can.
I mean, like the thing is that like depending on the question, I might have like different context to add to it because it's always gonna be like I might have missed something or whatever. So it's good to like even ask the question anyway.
Yep, and that's what I usually do is I'll ask you the same questions and ask if you want to go into more details of like the question. Like this question you technically already answered, but if you want to go into more detail, what do you bring to the VTuber community that helps you stand out a little?
I mod myself into video games,
which is really cool. That's really awesome. I know you mentioned how the fact that having a 3D model allows you to put yourself in games. What other kind of games you have added yourself into?
Oh, there's just a slew of games that I've already put myself into. Like there's also just projects that like fell through and just didn't really work out the way that I wanted to. Where do I even begin? So the first project I did was Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This was when I was very. This was my. I wanted to return to Pokemon because I had never played anything past Red and Blue. And everyone was telling me, "Oh, do Pokemon Heart Gold, do Pokemon Heart Gold," and I was just like, "Okay, I will make some sprites. I will get everything situated and rearranged in such a way that I can mod them into the game." And Shen helped me inject the sprites into the game, and then I played Heart Gold, Soul Silver all the way through as myself, and I really wanted it to make it like something special. Because I thought that was like a unique case, and it helped quite a bit with getting people to know me, because people were like, "Oh shit, you could do this," and I got like some commissions and like some other people who like asked me to like help them with modding. And then I turned to a much bigger project in scope than I had initially thought about. But after I did that, I did like a couple of playthroughs on my own, and then eventually my second year, or my first year and a half being as a VTuber, I wanted the entire month of November to be a Zelda month. And so I got with a couple of friends, and we modded myself into four Zelda games of our choosing.
Wow.
It was Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker. And I only finished 2 of them out of the 4 that year, because 2 of them were first-time playthroughs. But I had a great time doing it, and this year, or this past year in November, we did another Zeldathon, but it bled into like December. The game that I eventually dropped was Skyward Sword. I just didn't feel like playing it anymore. But we did Zelda 1, A Link Between Worlds, Majora's Mask, and Skyward Sword this year. So we had like 8 Zelda games instead of 4. So it was quite a bit. What other games? I guess the current project I'm working on is Pokemon. I have myself modded into every single generation except Gen 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Pokeathon this year instead of a Zeldathon, and I will be playing every single Pokemon game from start to finish.
Wow.
All the way from the beginning, and I think that'd be a fun thing to do. One of the other projects that kind of fell through, I have the mods for it. We did the rigging and everything, but some of them were unable to get injected into the game. Was that I'm still gonna do a Sonic-thon. It's just I'm not gonna have myself modded. I had a handful of games that were supposed to be in it. For instance, Sonic Mania was supposed to have a sprite of myself, but that didn't go through. That kind of fell through really quickly, because the person who is making the sprites they couldn't, for whatever reason, like get the running animation correct, and it just didn't work out well. Sonic Adventure 2 and 1 have models. The only problem is that in cutscenes, the entire game just breaks, so it will crash in a cutscene.
Oh.
So you can play, like, you have to skip the cutscene before the model shows up or gets loaded, or otherwise the game will just crash. So that's a problem. The one that actually, the 2 mods that actually worked perfectly fine. The only problem is I kind of want to just get like a different model, because the model just doesn't look great. Is Sonic Forces and Sonic Generations. Those mods actually look perfectly fine. I wish I had like images to show, but like I don't, unfortunately. The only thing that I can show actually is, let's see here.
Seeing that stretching.
Oh yeah, no, that's because I'm looking at my other monitor.
No worries. It's just you just like crack. You know.
Yeah, no. It's cracking my neck. It's fine. I'm okay.
It's okay.
Don't
It's a
worry
good stretch.
about
Good
it.
stretch. While you look for that, Nova was asking if there was one other game you want to mod yourself into, what would it be? Outside of something like Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, Animal Crossing.
That's a good question. I don't really know. because can't really think of like any other like
Would you want to mod yourself in like Final Fantasy?
oh, fantasy maybe.
That'd be kind of cool to see you
The
being in Final
thing,
Fantasy.
the thing is that Final Fantasy happens to have like a lot of like you know, a lot of other stuff like going on.
What if like the technical side of things wasn't an option? Just like you can just magically just be able to put your character
just like
into a
drag
thing.
and drop.
Yeah, it's drag and drop. Like no power, no like technology implications at all. Just you can just be in the game.
Probably Kingdom Hearts in that case.
Really? That'd be kind of cool to see Kingdom Hearts. You look like Kingdom Hearts character, to tell you the truth.
I think Kingdom Hearts would fit a lot. What else? What other game that I think would be really, really cool? Smash Brothers, but with my own custom moveset.
That'd be cool. I can see that. I can see that. I can see definitely. This should be a Super Smash Bros. Vtuber edition. Elora, I think, actually pitched this already, but like it'd be cool to see everyone like have their own styles, you know.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, okay.
Mario Kart, 100% Mario Kart. Yeah, I definitely would be thrown into Mario Kart. I don't care if it's like super like Nintendo related. It's just like Mario Kart is like a staple. Like I feel like everybody has played Mario Kart at some point. And if I said something silly as like Minecraft, I'm like, well, that's already possible.
Well, yeah,
like,
you can just do that.
I
have a model. I have a model for Minecraft. I don't even play the game.
But to show you what I was talking about a while ago.
Look
this
at you.
is. Oh god.
Oh. Nice.
This is a Sonic model that I had made that I plan on I plan on doing at some point with the Sonic-thon. It's gonna be basically just like me playing a bunch of Sonic games back to back because I played Sonic 1 a little bit. I didn't really like it all that much. I played Sonic Mania. I was okay with it. The funny thing is I prefer the 3D Sonics. Like, if I play anything that's 2D, I just start hating it. I can't... I don't know if I could get behind it. And it's unfortunate because I know a lot of people really, really like 2D Sonic. So, I don't know.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. And it would be cool to see you be able to do more of those kind of stuff that as time goes on.
Yeah. That just like, and the thing is that I wanted to do that because I think it would introduce me to a new community and kind of just like get people to understand like my take on things. Because like I could play the 3D Sonic games really well. Like I mean I could blast through Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 perfectly fine. Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm okay. But you know I never played Sonic Generations all the way through. In fact, the last Sonic 3D game that I played before Sonic 06 was Sonic and the Secret Rings, and it's certainly a game.
It's certainly a game. You're not wrong.
It's certainly a game. It exists. The funny thing is my favorite Sonic game, even though it's like notoriously known as the worst one, is Sonic 06. I started with Sonic 06, and I went back and played like some of the older games after it because I had the Sonic not Sonic Dreams, Sonic Gems collection on GameCube and PlayStation 2. And I think I had the Mega Pack as well. But basically, the reason why I didn't like the 2D games at first was because I was only familiar with Sonic 06, and I played the 2D games, and I was just like, how come I can't break the game? Like, I thought Sonic was purposely made bad. So I was just like, why can't I glitch out of this thing? Why can't I fall through the hole? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? And it like really, really like irked me. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back to playing Sonic 06. This sucks. Like I borrowed my friend's Genesis and Sonic 1 through 3 and Knuckles, and I just gave it back to him the very next day, and I told him like, hey, your games blow, and he got really upset.
Wow.
But, you know,
Jeez. ruined his life right there. He just ruined his dream.
No. It's funny because this is the same person that would eventually end up bullying me for being a Nintendo fan for like years to come. And then the moment he saw, well, because he already knew about this, but the moment he started seeing Sonic games being on console, like he was like, "How come Sega's not making consoles anymore?" And it started an argument between me and him where I just straight up said, "Well, maybe Sega's not good enough to make consoles anymore." And after like years of being bullied by him for being a Nintendo fan, he kind of just like got up and left, and we just stopped being friends over Sonic. It was kind of funny, but also kind of just like, yeah, I kind of figured this would happen eventually.
Dang, you lost friendship from it. Dang.
It wouldn't be the first time I've lost a friendship over a video game.
Oh, like I actually did like, so when I do these VTuber interviews, I try purposely not to go into too much like research on the person who comes on my show, just because I would like to learn about them on my show. But I will say I did see some of your transitions, and I've always loved your transition. I thought it was very clever. One idea I really have, and I didn't know if you could like explain to me how I would do this for my own VTuber model, but I would love to try and do like a transition where someone can hit a redeem and it turns into like a codex from Metal Gear Solid, where like one person will be like Colonel, one person will be that.
So what you could do is you could basically play a video where on the top of your main scene it like fades to black real quick, right? Then it does a scene transition to the scene that has all the codec stuff. So then the other video will be unseen. It will fade back in from black to the codec thing, and you could have your VTuber model have a move source behind like where the codec thing is, and then have a filter on top of it to make it look like a codec, and then like have like the right side be like chat or like Snake or whoever you're talking to, and then you can just have that whole like inner bit thing right there, and then like it can move and transition back. It's a very like, it sounds convoluted and crazy. In fact, I might actually be willing to like put that together because I think that would be something I could probably
if you do that, I would be super grateful for that, because that like I'm not that techie when it comes to that kind of stuff, so that does look confusing. I did pick up some of the things you said, because I have gotten some things with like,
do you use StreamerBot?
I think I have StreamerBot. I use Mix It Up to like have some redeems get done.
I love, as much as I love Mix It Up and I love like all these other like programs that are very similar, I strictly only use StreamerBot because the thing is, a StreamerBot allows you to use C# code, and that gives you so much flexibility. Like for instance, I have a redeem called Chaos Clip, where it could just pull a random clip from a folder and play it, and it will just pop up on my screen. Or I have a redeem where when people clip things from my chat, it'll do like the Nintendo Switch, like take a screenshot on the top left corner and like save it, but it'll take a screenshot of what just happened and put it on the left-hand screen. Yeah,
that's a really cool idea too. I like that. That's a really cool idea. But I love how you come up with these.
I never messed with Mix It Up. Mix It Up is always kind of just like up in the air for me. I think Mix It Up has like the potential to do a lot of these sorts of things. I would just have to kind of like figure it out. But if I could, I'm pretty sure like if I explain it in the way that I do for StreamerBot, somebody can easily translate it and put it into Mix It Up. I know, if I recall correctly, I think Shindig uses Mix It Up. I don't know if he uses StreamerBot. He might use both. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using both. I think like if you really, really want like to be super duper powerful in the streaming sphere, having multiple bots is not a problem. I think it might cause like some connection issues, but if you have like two separate things for them, then they'll probably be fine. I will tell you the one big thing that I noticed recently that like gets people like going and like talking, or just like kind of just interacting with your chat. Fishing, lurk bait fishing. Oh my god, it is a game changer.
Really?
Like I have gotten so many people just come in and just start fishing randomly. And it's like, okay, well now I know that people are actually there, right? Because like sometimes my chat goes a little silent, and I kind of like go, is anybody there? Like, hello? You know, but then like, I'll see somebody fish, I'm like, oh, okay. Ooh,
People say,
ooh. Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. No, it makes sense. I like that. Well, if you do that for me, I would really appreciate that. Or if you want to show me how to do it, I can do it on my own.
I mean, ideally, what I wanted to do this year, and I still plan on making that happen as a reality, is actually make some like tutorials on StreamerBot and
That'd be cool.
VNN and all that other stuff. So ideally,
Bless
that'll
you.
probably be the case. Oh no, that was me drinking water.
Oh, okay. I thought you.
Yeah.
I know. But no,
Hockey,
it
I'm
makes sense.
asleep. Not that you're boring, but because you're soothing and calm. No, that's happened a
Oh.
lot of times where some people will be like, "Oh yeah, I could sleep to your VODs," and I'm like, "How? Half of my VODs is me screaming."
Ah!
So
No, makes
like,
sense.
I don't know how people could sleep through that. Then again, I could sleep through Vinny Vinesauce, and Vinny also does the same thing. So it's like whatever.
No, this is how it is. How it is. Going back to some of the things that Chad was talking about. Thank you so much for answering those questions. I can definitely see. I like your style. I can see why people really like you. Is because you do a lot of different things that a lot of people don't do, and I love the integrations you put with your chat and your games and how you pretty much immerse yourself into those. And I like that. That's really impressive, and I like that a lot. It's really cool. Going back to what Chad was saying, because I had this pause for a question that Nova had for you. That is for the Sonic-a-thon. Which Sonic game are you most excited to visit?
I was gonna say jokingly Knuckles Chaotix because I know that's like the worst one. But probably Sonic Rush, because like I played a little bit of that, and I just remember this one song that's like back to back, do it back to back to back, we do it back. It's like just like a banger. It's just such a banger song, like the entire way through, and I'm just like, oh man, why can't we have this? And then I looked it up, and I was just like, oh. I know why this song is a banger. It's because the guy who worked on what was it called? It's a skating game. You do like graffiti walls and stuff. What's Hideki Naganuma worked on that OST, and that's why it was such a banger. And I'm like, Jet Set Radio, yeah. I was like, no wonder this is a banger. That guy from Jet Set Radio made the OST for this.
Love that.
So I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. I want to play that. I want to play the Sonic Advance series. Sonic Advance is I think there's like 3 of them, and it's basically like Sonic 1 through 3, but but a little bit prettier. I don't know how to really describe it. I know that there's like Sonic Adventure mechanics, like there's grind rails, and I think the what's it called, the where it targets an enemy and you press A and it like he jumps and hits them. I want to say that's called the
Speed dash?
homing attack. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, homing attack, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Someone also mentioned like one of my friends was like, oh yeah, you should play Sonic Team Racing, and I'm like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I don't want to do that. I played that game on Wii U not too long ago, and playing it on the Wii U pad is like the worst thing ever. It's like super laggy, like really really bad.
The Sonic and Sega Team Sonic Racing is really good. That's on PS3.
Yeah. I do want to play Sonic Riders. Sonic Riders is one of the few games that I have played that I'm really, really good at. I've played Tournament Edition for a little while, and I have participated in a lot of their events, so that's a lot of fun. So I will definitely do the story mode for Sonic Riders. Like, no, Sonic Riders is 100% going to be there. Like, I might not play the other 2 games. The one that requires motion controls for the Wii, and then the other one that requires, I think it's called Sonic Free Riders. I think it was on Xbox, where you have to have like the stupid what was it called? Not the board.
The Kinect.
It was
the
like
Kinect.
the Kinect, yeah. And I don't have a Kinect anymore. Oh, speaking of the Kinect, I heard that you could connect a Kinect to your computer and use that camera as a camera for your VTuber model.
I bet that would be good too.
And it is the craziest thing. And it's not that great, but it's like you could use it as a webcam. And I'm like, that's a really cool way of like getting a webcam. Oh, FreeRider does have a no Kinect patch. Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. I can put that in and then never use the Kinect ever again.
Love it.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, the Kinect would be kind of cool to see some.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that video. VTuber uses Kinect to does her stream.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
VTuber uses a Guitar Hero controller to do expressions on her model.
That'd be crazy. I could see it. It'd be the next.
Yeah.
Be next speed run. Love to see it. Also, I did see that you did some speed runs. I saw your list of speed runs you did. You're very, very impressive. Very impressive. Very good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you done speed runs with like random controllers?
I done 2 speedruns with a different controller. Well, it's not really a different controller. It was just kind of gross. For my very first charity event, this is before I started doing Speed Timber, I did a charity event for like a mental health place. I don't remember what it was called. But basically, if we raised $1,000, I had to take a GameCube controller, like with a transparent shell, so I could see through it, and I had to fill it up with beans and then put it back into the GameCube and play it with that. And the worst part about it is we filled it up with beans and it still fucking worked. Like, wow. I was impressed that it still worked. Do you have a photo of the beam controller? I do not.
That would have been perfect.
It was so unbelievably gross. I'm glad that I did not take a picture of it. I know Matt might have a picture of it.
You should get it. You should get the archives.
Yeah, I don't know if he has it on him right now because he just broke his phone.
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know if I can find it right now. But no, it was like so unbelievably fucking gross. I had to play Mario Kart Double Dash with it, and the smell was so visceral. I'm thinking about it. I have a very strong imagination. Hold on. Give me a second.
Oh, she's gonna throw up a little bit. Throw up, guys.
Sorry, I have a very strong imagination, so I was just imagining the smell. It was really, really bad. It was like disgustingly bad. And oh god, the worst part I think is that after I did the speedrun, I washed my hands and I could not get rid of the smell off of my hands. So my hands like smelled like beans for the rest of the day. Yeah, no, it was bad.
Dang, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Well, hopefully you don't have to do that again. Hopefully
no, I will never do that again. This is like why I will never ever do anything related to beans or putting things in the controllers ever again. Like, it's funny at first, but then like when you actually put it in, like if you do it in execution, it's like the most disgusting thing I've ever done. No.
I don't want to imagine it anymore. Let's move on. Is there any games you're looking forward to streaming later this year?
Oh, there's a lot of games. Well, I mean, I'm assuming games that are coming out this year. No.
Nope, not a single game.
I don't play very modern games.
True. You definitely a retro stream.
I'm more retro.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I actually wish I was more retro. But I don't have the fan base for that.
I ideally kind of just want to do more PlayStation and Sega games this year.
That'd be cool.
Ideally, like I kind of just want to move, like not necessarily move away from Nintendo, but also just kind of be like, kind of show to people that like I can sit there and be just as entertaining and interesting while playing a different game that isn't something that I know off the top of my head very well. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stray away completely from Nintendo games. My subathon is going to be filled with them, so I will have plenty of Nintendo games that I'm going to try to get through. I think the one game I actually am interested in is probably Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta.
Yes,
which is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Can't wait.
I played Metal Gear Solid 3 a couple times. I do like that game. I am glad that they are keeping the original voice acting and not straying too far away from what it was originally. So that's good to know. The other thing, I guess, like the only other game that I'm looking forward to right now is I really hope that they'll just finally announce the third game for Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth and just call it a day. I know for a fact it's going to be called Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Like, there's just no way they're not going to call it Reunion. And if they do that, I could probably just be like, all right, guys, I can finally sit down and play Final Fantasy VII Remake all the way through without having like any hiccups or anything like that. Because the thing that I dislike about that series, that whole like thing right now, is the fact that it's 3 separate games, like all into one thing, and then also there's no data transferring.
So dumb.
I don't know. Here's the thing: Crisis Core Remake already use Reunion. I mean, you can still use Reunion. It doesn't really necessarily matter. What are they gonna do? Resurrection or something? Like, that'd be crazy.
You should clip that and then show it back to her when it actually becomes Resurrection.
It has to be like an R, because they already used Rebirth. They already used Remake. I could see it being like Resurrection, Reunion,
Rejoin,
reconnect, like something really silly. Like it has to. I still think it's gonna be just called Reunion, because there's a lot of stress of like the redundant.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one.
That's pretty good. I also thought, for all my Kingdom Hearts fans out here, because I thought of something not too long ago during my Final Fantasy VII playthrough. I was like, hey, do you know like all the people that are in the black cloaks that are like the people that got experimented on by Hojo? Think about it. Why are the people in Final and Kingdom Hearts 2 also wearing black cloaks and called nobodies? That's because Hojo experimented on them.
Oh!
I saw the connection between those two, and I was just like, oh, Nomura, you silly little person, you. I got you. I know what you're doing.
No, I love it. I actually, I'm actually doing that playthrough right now. I never really played the Kingdom Hearts series. I've been told by so many people it's their favorite series. So I'm actually playing through the entire Kingdom Hearts series. My first playthrough of it, which is it's fun. That'd be fun.
I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I need to sit down and play Kingdom Hearts 3 at some point. I know that people have been like kind of like asking me to, and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't have to play all the other games. You could just, I mean, like, if you want to, you can, but you're gonna miss out on a lot of stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna not know who Roxas is. I'm not gonna know who Ventus is. Blah 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 blah." Oh. Anyways, like, I still have to do the bit where I play a Kingdom Hearts game on stream and eat hot spicy food, and then every time someone redeems the word lore, I have to explain the Kingdom Hearts lore and eat more spicy food.
What? You have to explain the lore?
So a subathon reward that I did last year that I promised that I would do at some point. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this subathon. Was that I have to play Kingdom Hearts while eating spicy food, and then there is a redeem on the stream called Explain Lore and nothing else. And it's just like, okay, I will start explaining the Kingdom Hearts lore as convoluted as possible. As in, like, I will go from the very beginning and I will try to explain it in in like high, like really depth and all that stuff. But the thing is that there's no cooldown on the redeem. So if someone redeems it again, I have to eat spicy food and start from the beginning, and just keep doing that.
That's just going to be the entire stream. You know that, right?
Oh
you
no,
just have
that's
to
the
stop.
point. That's literally the point. That's the entire point. It's supposed to be funny and stupid. So
gotta be as confused as possible. Must make Papa Nomura proud. Gotta make him proud. Yeah, proud. All right, makes sense. Makes sense. All right.
But I guess the games that I'm mostly looking forward to is just like kind of retro stuff. Like I definitely want to play like a lot of more Sony titles. Like the one of the games that I keep telling myself that I'm going to is what was it called? The Shadow of Colossus. There's a lot of people that ask me about Shadow of Colossus and Eco, and some people have been like, "Oh, you should play The Last of Us. You would love The Last of Us." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I want to play The Last of Us definitely on stream at some point." Sly Cooper, Spyro, Crash. I've tried Crash multiple times, but I never tried Crash on stream. I know I'm not gonna have a good time with that because I really don't like Crash, but that's fine. I will put myself through it. I'll put myself through the pain and injury that is Crash Bandicoot. So
that'd be cool to see. I'd like to see that. You actually seem to have a really a strong connection with your community. It looks like your community and your chat actually loves to interact with you and chat with you, and you do a lot of redeems for them. So my next question for you is, what kind of games do you play with your fans? Do you host any community nights?
It's been a while. I used to do this very often where we would do Jackbox or we'd do Mario Kart or we would hang out in Minecraft. I've been trying to get better about this. I just recently announced that I'm going to be taking Saturdays off from now on to actually do stuff like this. Because basically I've been having a problem where I don't leave myself open enough to actually collab with other people. My days that I'm only open are Monday and Tuesday, and I'm spreading myself a little thin as of late. So now I'm kind of just like, all right, well, here's how the best way I could do it is my Saturday is never something that's going to be sitting there and be something that I really need to do. So I was thinking of leaving my Saturdays open to collabing on other people's channels or doing a day where I can hang out with my community, because that's the only day that it seems that lines up with everybody else. It is the only day that I can think of that is everybody's free. Nobody's doing anything. Oh, and also this is the day that everyone are everyone is streaming. Everyone is streaming on this day, so this is probably the perfect time to collab with other people and be on someone else's stream for once. Because I realized partially through this year I've had a lot of people come onto my channel. I haven't really been going on to other people's channel. In fact, I've only started making this change as of last week, where I was on 2 different people's channels last week. I was on Goblin Fia's stream, and then who else was I on? Oh no, I had a different collab. I had a collab where people came onto my stream, which was for Buckshot Roulette. So I had quite a handful of collabs last week, but this week it's kind of still up in the air. I do still have to do a stream this Saturday because I do have a collab for Dungeonaire with Travel Quest. But I have two Dungeonaire collabs, and then my normal collabs as well, not normal collabs, but my normal stream days, which is now just going to be, besides Wednesday, which is the Dungeonaire day, is Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, because Dungeonaire always takes one stream day, and I've gotten the habit of doing Dungeonaire and then switching on to Balatro or some other game. I'm thinking about mixing that up so it's not always just Balatro. I could probably mix it up with an Ultra Kill or like Binding of Isaac or Spelunky or some other like weird ass game that is a roguelike that I think would be a lot of fun. I would love to play some Spelunky actually because I think Spelunky would be right up my alley.
That
I
would
do
be
love
your style.
Spelunky too.
Yeah.
I genuinely do love Spelunky 2 a lot, and I just haven't had time to like actually play it.
No, that'd be cool. I would love to see that. Also, we got
Yeah.
redeem for hydrate, so you can drink some water.
Yeah.
But no, I like that. I like that you are trying to come up with different ways to like reward your community and also go on other people's streams and collab with them. And I love that you're going to set a time, a period.
I used to kind of just like be very like recluse to myself. Like for instance, during my partner push, I wasn't like really collabing with anybody. It was more of like, hey, let's focus on this sort of thing. And I think I gotten so used to that like I just forgotten how to collab with other people. Like I think the other thing is that a lot of people there's two things that I noticed from a lot of people is that a lot of people are either just afraid to bother me because they think I'm busy, which is like so far from the truth. I'm not usually that busy. I always have my Mondays and Tuesdays open, and I can always find time to schedule around anybody else's schedule, so long as it doesn't bleed into my own times when I stream. But the other thing I think that people don't really bother me for games is because they only think that I play Nintendo games and that's it. And it's like, no, I've stressed a lot of times that I don't only play Nintendo games. Like one of the big games right now, like the one that I really can't contribute to, which I wish it wasn't the case. I wish I wasn't bad at this game. Is Marvels.
Oh, okay.
I can't get into hero shooters. I'm very, very bad at them. I've always been bad at them. And the reason why I don't jump like gun ho into a hero shooter is because I feel like if I don't do my best, if I just kind of just fuck around, it's gonna it's gonna affect the team, and then it's gonna make my teammates sad because they lost. And I'm gonna be like, oh well, that's my fault. Like I don't want to do this. Like some people might be like, oh well, we're just playing for fun, but like in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, we're playing for fun, but like at the same time, like it
You
doesn't
want to
feel
win.
good.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good to lose either. You know, like I get it. And they might, and like my brain is like playing tricks on me where it's like, oh, well, maybe they're just saying that to be nice.
Oh,
you know?
Well, that's why you have to get a group of friends who are also going to be super zany. You guys can all do like zany things together, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I can definitely see you guys do this.
But yeah, the main community things that I usually do is I just kind of host movie nights and kind of just be like, hey, we're gonna do a movie thing, or we're gonna hang out in Discord or whatever. Like sometimes I'll just randomly join my Discord VC and just be like, all right, I'm gonna stick around and play a game here for a little bit. We're just gonna hang.
Gonna hang.
You know?
That'd be cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I bet your chat loves that. I bet they love that little tiny interaction.
Absolutely.
I like that. That's cool. All right. Well, next question, and this question is one of my favorite questions to ask. And that is, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this interview by going into the one big thing that everyone loves to talk about. And that is your VTuber design. What's the thoughts that went into the design? Because your design's pretty iconic if you think about it. It's very simple but iconic.
I literally just looked at a Shiba and was like, yeah, I want that.
Just make a Shiba into an anime girl. Like,
yeah,
you can do it.
Basically, yeah. I literally did like Full Metal Alchemist, like dog girl done. And so funny enough,
wow.
I worked with an artist. On for like a couple. To get the design that I have currently took like months. We did a span of over 80 different designs.
Wow.
And this was like I think design 61 or 62. The only thing that we changed on it was we added a tail and ears onto her hat. Originally, she didn't have any ears and she didn't have a tail. It was just the basic like hat and like jacket and everything. And I'm like, oh, she just looks like a normal anime girl, but she just like you know has nothing attached to her. Um, the funny thing is their hood wasn't all the like her hood was originally zipped up. There was no leaf on the top of the head. There was no Shiba pin. There was no pins in my hair. There was no hair deck. Like this is like a revamped version of that design because my design has actually changed quite a bit since the original first design. For instance, I didn't have a Game Boy on my hip until this design. So a lot of stuff has changed. But the thing that I think is important is that I wanted a design that was the polar opposite of my actual dog, and my dog is a black tan Shiba, and I'm like, okay, well, I want a polar opposite of the black tan Shiba, and the most popular Shiba is the orange tan Shiba, so I became the orange tan Shiba as a mix match, so that we are together in some way, but not necessarily like the same. Yeah, we're basically standing out. Yeah. And
nice.
like he's my best friend. I love him to death. Like basically he is like that's why I made him my TTS mascot. He is basically there at all times. I immortalized him in my streams and also in my Animal Crossing playthrough. So like if anything were to happen, I can still hang out and talk with him. And that's something like yeah, I think about this a lot where he's an animal. I'm going to outlive him, hopefully. It's just kind of it's sad to think about, but then I think about it from this perspective where I have ingrained him in such a way on my stream or on my like Animal Crossing save or just in my streaming career in general that even if he were to pass away in real life, that he's still there in some shape or form. So he's still always going to be my best friend, regardless.
That's always.
And I don't think I could get sad knowing that. So
that's nice. That's a good way to.
That's kind of how I take it. But yeah.
No, I like that. I like that. Actually, I heard this recently. Someone was mentioning that he might be just a small part of your life, but you're his entire life.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely his entire world. Yeah, for sure. Like he'll come into my room. Oh, the weird thing that he does is he'll get a treat from my boyfriend from upstairs, but then he'll grab the treat, bring it all the way down here, put it at my feet, and be looking at me like, "Could I have this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can have it.
Aww.
You can eat it. You can eat it." And then he eats it in front of me. He's like, "Okay," and then all right.
I love that. That's adorable.
No,
wants to make sure
very,
he's a
very
good boy.
sweet.
He's a good boy.
Oh yeah, he's a little troublemaker, but he is a good boy. I have been on the fence about getting him a sister or brother the past couple days because I saw Amidal. She just got a puppy and named him Ryuji, and it's an orange tan Shiba, and it's really, really cute. And I'm just like, my inner ovaries, it's like, oh, I want another dog. I need it. I need another dog to take care of. I need it.
Yep. I must take care. I must be the mother. I must be the mother of this.
Yeah, basically.
I see the opposite to outer overalls.
No, I don't have those.
No worries, no worries. Going back to your design, what is your most favorite part about your design?
I have paws on the bottom of my shoes.
Oh, that's adorable. Love that.
Yeah, but no one ever gets to see it because like I never show like my feet or anything like that. But once I start VR chat, eventually I'll get into VR chat at some point where I will be like, all right, well, if I lift up my feet, you can see the bottom of my shoes, it's got little paw prints on it.
You guys, that's going to be something you have to look forward to. When she does VR chat, you guys have to go run to her and look at her feet.
Oh my god.
Just go over there and go straight to her feet. You guys have to go check it out.
Just immediately go over to me and be like, hey, Aki, can I see your feet? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, here you go.
For free. Yes, for free. It's gonna be Step on Me. Aki Step on Me.
No,
What is
no
this? What chat
steppies,
wants? This is
no
what chat wants.
steppies. I
Chat
used to
wants.
have, I used to on my live 2D. I used to have a steppies like
Ooh.
toggle, and it was, yeah, a
I
lot of
think
people were really, a lot
Master
of
would
people were
want
really
that.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wonder why, guys. It's probably not just the
no,
pause. No, probably not just the pause. That is exactly who wants that, you know, right? Well, that's cool. That's adorable. I love that. I said no such thing.
the other thing that I like about my model is that the my VTuber mom made a when they made the Game Boy, they figured out how to make an animated GIF sprite of her character and everything on it. I wish I could like well, I could show you, but like it's gonna like be really difficult to. Here, I'll rearrange myself again. But basically, oops. If I
Oh,
zoom
yeah,
in, oops.
Oh my god, it's so adorable.
Yeah, you can see that it's like fully animated with her like creating me and like putting the thing there, and she like puts like a bolt in my head. Sometimes it boots into like doing some other stuff, but like basically when she hits the switch, it like blows up.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. I see that. That's adorable. That's so cool. I love that. I love that. As a small attention to detail that no one really will know about unless you like show it off.
Yeah, it's basically like a little detail that like nobody will notice unless somebody like either I point it out specifically or if someone like goes and
Asks
looks
about
at it.
Yeah.
Like I showed it off on Goblin Fia's stream where like someone asked me like what's the favorite part of my model in particular, and I showed the Game Boy and everyone was just like, oh shit, that's cool,
What?
because like
Yeah.
people would not expect that to be animated. They would expect
Yeah.
that to just be like one screen. I'm like, no, it's animated on my model.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's where most of the Mario like models goes into place. It's that part right there.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, like the other thing is I have like
Oh.
a Nintendo Zapper that I could use,
Pulling
but
out
that's about it.
friggin' heat into this interview. Jeez.
Oh no,
I'm
there's no
good.
heat. No,
Hey,
no,
good.
no. I'm not the Joker. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I gotta watch out. Watch out. I didn't think this this dog had fangs over here.
Oh, I do have fangs. It's only one though, because the other one got chipped.
Oh, sorry. Probably from trying to bite down on all your controllers when you got pissed off at the game.
You know, it's really funny. I actually don't really get mad at video games.
Really?
Video games are not a thing that like makes me angry. What makes me angry is if something is like intentionally bad. Like if you like see like a game mechanic that is intentionally made to like piss people off, then that'll get me mad. But like I don't get angry to the point where I'll throw my controller or yell or anything like that. I'll just kind of be like slightly annoyed.
Kind of like get over it as the game's designed to make you feel angry because it's designed to be
I
terrible.
love that game though.
I
Like that
hate
game
that
is
game.
funny.
I hate that game so badly.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about that. Let's get into the next question for you. That is, do you have a lore backstory for the gamer Doggo?
Not really.
Makes sense.
The lore that I came up with is very, very dumb and very, very stupid. I am just a normal person walking her dog down the street at night, and my dog is an orange tan Shiba at the time. And it starts raining, it starts pouring really hard, and I pick up the dog, I start running back home, and then I get zapped by lightning. And this turns the orange tan Shiba into Ricky, which makes him a black tan. But I take the orange tan part, and it like gets attached to my clothing and everything, and I grow a tail, and I become like the dog VTuber. Which, you know, initially I don't freak out because I'm just like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wake up, I return home, and the thing that starts getting weird is the moment I sit at my computer, I could feel like the electronical pulses from the computer, and when I play a video game, I get transported into it. Like I get hacked into the game. So like I replace all the protagonists and all kinds of stuff like that, similar to how
You
I hack
become.
myself into video games. Yeah, kitty.
Yeah, I have a cat. So you're a dog person, which is totally cool. Nothing wrong with that. I'm a cat person. I'm a cat. I have a little Siamese.
Aww.
He's a mix. He's
very cute.
He's mad at me because this is usually when we go to bed.
Oh no.
Okay.
He's angry. He's mad.
He's
gonna. Like, why are you not asleep?
Yeah,
why are you not asleep?
He's gonna
sleep.
He's gonna sit right here. He's gonna sit right here and be annoying. No,
that's fine. But yeah, that's basically kind of like the lore that I've come up with. It's not something concrete or really interesting just yet. I might have somebody write me something up and then like put it together, but for now it's kind of just like something silly that I threw together.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I think it's simple and there's nothing wrong with it, and I do like the idea.
No, it's nothing like crazy. Yeah, I mean the other part was like I was gonna add like before the lightning strike and everything was like that she's very sad and she works a 9 to 5 before becoming a VTuber.
She used to play video games, but then she had to work all day and work and like make her ends meet, and she doesn't have enough time to play video games anymore. So she was walking back, reminiscing on the good old times of retro games.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that I was going to do was I was going to run a bakery, but then someone told me that Corone does bakery stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can't copy that.
Can't copy her? No.
No, I can't do that to her. No.
Oh, it's totally good. It's totally good. I like it. It's a good idea. It's good. Maybe you can dwell on the lore as time goes on.
Maybe.
Cool. Ready for a little bit of a spicy question?
Sure.
What's your thoughts on the VTuber community at the moment?
Oh, I have a lot of stuff I could say about the VTuber community. I think the VTuber community has a lot to offer. It has a lot of things that you can do. I've met a lot of good friends through the VTuber community, but I've also met like a handful of not really good people, and also a lot of people that like to take advantage of other people. Bottom of the line on this though is that there's always going to be like a bad apple in your community, and there's always going to be like horrible people that you're going to run into, and it's really up to you to like decide whether the community is worth being around and fighting for, rather than just giving up the moment's notice that some terrible person just happens to be in there. And I feel like this is with just any community. Like, you can't just let one person ruin something that's like really cool and creative for you. And if you do, then like, yeah, how are you going to like anything? Like, I feel like if you just let one or two people ruin things for you all the time, then you're not going to find much enjoyment at anything at all. And I don't think you should be basing your enjoyment based off of how other people are. Like, if
True.
It's a medium that you particularly like, don't let other people control what you like and dislike. And I think a lot of people unfortunately don't know how to do that. So what happens is that you get a lot of people who see one bad person and they like, they'll quote retweet it or subtweet them, or make a big deal about it on social media. And I'm just like, I would just kind of like ignore those people. I would just kind of just like, obviously you don't want to be hanging around, bad people, or you don't want your friends hanging around about, horrible people. But at the end of the day, you got to focus on what you and your community does to make a positive difference. And I think it's far more important to be more productive and spreading inclusivity and positive vibes, rather than focusing in on the drama aspect stuff. I think that's a lot of things that I really kind of dislike about the VTuber community, is that there's like a handful, a general handful of commentary like channels that focus on heavy drama or Google Docs or cancellations of other people, and it's just I can't understand wanting to make content that benefits from the suffering of other people.
True.
I really, really can't get behind that. I think I understand why, because news and drama and commentary are something that a lot of people tend to flow through, because negativity is something that is often put at the forefront. A lot of people have comments and opinions about those sorts of things, and I understand why. But at the same time, I just kind of find it gross. I don't find it as something useful or interesting or really neat. I think it's kind of just like, sure, you're putting that information out there, but you're monetizing it, which is gross. You're gaining something from it, and I think that's the really kind of like ick I have, is that like, if you want to have a stance or opinion about it, sure, you can. If it's affecting other people, sure, you can do that. But the moment you start monetizing it and gaining money off of it, it just feels like you're only gaining off the suffering of other people, and I can't get behind that. It's why I do charity work. It's why I always kind of try to do things that are uplifting. I don't. One of the big things that I specify in my Twitch panels and stuff like that is I don't claim any of the money that I earn off of Twitch. All that money goes into other creators, my editors. It always goes back to the community in some way. I never pocket it or put it anything. If anything, the only time I will ever do that is if I want to get Ricky a new toy. I don't ever claim anything like that, and I think it's important to give back as much as I have been given. I feel like this community has a problem of take and take and take and take, but not really give. There are a handful of people that do, and I am very grateful for those people. And when I see them, I absolutely think that they should 100% deserve the spotlight for the positivity that they invoke. But there is, again, that small minority of people that just do not do that, and I think it is harming the community in some way. If I were a community leader or something like that, I would probably speak a little bit more about it, but I know that this opinion is, it's very gray area. There's a lot of people who disagree with it. There's a lot of people who do agree with me on it. The people that tend to disagree with it is often people who watch the kind of content, but they say that, well, I want to know because I want to keep my community safe. I want to know these bad people so I can keep my friends safe. And I understand that, but my thoughts on it is that if these people are bad, if these people are bad, and these drama channels are making news about it, you would hear it through word of mouth or just like come across it by yourself. You don't necessarily need to constantly watch this sort of content to be in the know.
True.
I feel like word of mouth and people like spreading like positivity is a far more well-known thing. I think if someone is like genuinely horrible, it will be very well known, or they'll do it to themselves. Like they'll mess up, like they'll fall on their face. Like, it is what it is. But all in all, I think the VTube community is a very welcoming space. It is a place where people can become anything they want to be and do whatever they want to be. And while it is a very giant terminal of people coming and people going, I do think that it has a lot of benefits, very positive benefits to people who struggle with identity or struggle with just like not wanting to put their face on a camera or having things completely attached to themselves or anything like that. It gives a lot of like anonymity to a lot of the things that they want to do. So I think it's important. It's still very niche. It's still very growing. Some people are saying like, oh no, it's a huge big industry. Maybe in Japan, not in the United States. Like if you go to Japan, you might see like a couple of VTubers on boards and stuff like that. But in America, it's still very, very much niche. And I would say that in the West, it's only going to keep growing for sure. Yeah.
We'll get there one day. We'll get there.
Oh
definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Nice. Well, I agree with you. I am on your side on that kind of same thing too. I do think that we need to talk more and get more of the positive side of things over the negative side of things. Negative things is just naturally more drawing. It's just
Yep.
because that's just how human nature is about.
Yeah.
So if we can find more ways to go away from that, stray away from that, and uplift the positive side of things, that's what I like. I want to see more of that.
Yeah. There's a balance with these sorts of things. Like I feel like a lot of these commentary channels will focus so much into just nothing but the negative and don't bring up anything else. And it's just okay, you could add it's like basic news, right? I understand that there's a lot of negative things that you could talk about, but there's also a handful of positive things that are happening at the same time. And if you don't balance those two out, it makes it really hard. This is how I found out that I wasn't going to be really good into journalism. Was in high school, one of my high school teachers made one of the students talk about how one of the teachers passed away on the intercom through the broadcasting system. And I turned to my teacher and I said, that's really, really sad news. That's really bad. I get why we had to say it, but at the same time, it's heartbreaking. It's not something anybody wants to hear. And my teacher said in that moment that there is no such thing as bad news. And I understand what he was trying to say, and I understand where he was coming from. But at the time, saying that in that moment, really pushed me away from being a journalist and news article writer. It's just not something I wanted to be associated with, because I think there is such a thing as good and bad news. But saying straight up that there isn't any bad news, it doesn't exist. I think is a little bit mentally flawed. I think there is such a thing as good and bad news. It's just whether or not you take it that way is up to interpretation.
True. There's information you get. That's what news is. It's just information you get. Now, some people might consider it as good or bad depending on who they are, but it's still information you give to you. But in general, there is still good and bad information you give to people. And when you're in the professional aspects where you are giving people information on a wide spread, you know which information you're giving to the person is not good and not bad. You can purposely give them good information, things that they need to know. But sometimes these journalists, sometimes a lot of people in the news market purposely gives you bad information or misinformation just because they know that it shows up more content.
It strives up the algorithm. It pushes things out, and it's just something that is beneficial, and there's no reason why they wouldn't want to benefit from that. Yeah,
exactly. So that's why I disagree with what your professor was saying, because there's no good or bad. There is, and you purposely choose to give out bad information to people because it's great for your business.
Good for your algorithm. Yeah, it's gonna be pushed out more because people are like, oh no, that's sad, or oh no, that's so bad, I gotta send it to somebody else so that they understand what happened.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
So that's why I wish that, as someone who's a psychologist, I went to school for psychology. I know it's just naturally our brains are wired to be more aware of when bad things are going on as a safety kind of mechanism, a survival kind of mechanism. That's why we're more in tune for when bad things are happening, so we can be on edge. But I wish we'd be more good things. I wish we can hear more of the good things. That's what we need in life. That's what we need more of. We need the good stuff.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you completely.
But with that said, definitely have another question for you to go through. This one I actually think is really important for you because you've been streaming for a while and you've done so many different things as time went on. So I really want to hear your answer into this. That is, when you first started streaming or when you first started making content, all the way up until your most recent stream or content video you made, have you noticed any changes on your style, your quality, how you do your stuff personally?
I think the things that have changed dramatically since I was, just only doing speedrun content is Definitely my voice. Voice has changed slightly to some degree. I do a little bit of voice practice on stream if I can to try to sound a little bit more, like it's very hard to like say feminine because I definitely don't sound feminine in comparison to like what I used to sound like. But I try. It's definitely something that I am very conscious of, and I try to like push that towards better voice acting overall for myself. But the other thing I would say is that I would think is confidence. I definitely grown a lot more confident in my content and the things that I do. I would say that that has been probably the biggest change, is that I'm slowly trying new things over a period of time. Like for this year, I've struck out of Nintendo games specifically and trying to play different genre of games so that people don't necessarily just only calling me the Nintendo fan. Last year I did a subathon for the first time. Just all kinds of like very specific silly little events that I think are. It's important to me that I try new things, and I think trying new things and doing things different each time is unique to not only just myself, but it should be unique to everybody. That if you try a thing multiple times and it just doesn't work, it doesn't kick in, it doesn't like do anything for you, then at that point you need to go back to your drawing board and you need to try something different. You need to make it unique. Like there's, for instance, like all these YouTubers now, when they do like a randomizer or a playthrough now, it's not like a normal playthrough where they just turn the game on and they talk with commentary like a stream. It's, oh, we need to tell a story. Oh, there needs to be a challenge. Oh, there needs to be something like this. Like, for instance, I watched a Final Fantasy VII playthrough where they did the entire playthrough with only using limits. They were not using any items. They weren't using any magic. They weren't using any materia, nothing else like that. They were only using limits. But they told the story from start to finish on how they accomplished such thing. They showed and not told. And I think that's like the very big dynamic thing that's going on, especially on YouTube side. But I can see it bleeding into streaming. There's people who are making staged or scripted bits, and I think it works. I think it does work in some degree. Not necessarily going to work all the time, but having like jokes on hand that you can tell on stream is something that I think is very useful. One of the things that I do for my just chatting segments is I write down things that I want to talk about, and I use those as talking points and try to get people interested in the talking points that I do. And I think it does bring a lot of people in to talk about just like things in a personal manner. I used to do a lot of React content at some point during my partner push, and I've slowly strayed away from it because I just don't find React content all that interesting. The thing that I do find interesting is how it detaches yourself from just the video and visual element, but it gives people an idea of what your personality is like, what your takes are, what your thoughts are, what your tastes, that sort of thing. And I think that's important on a streaming platform versus what you like. If like, how good are you at a video game? Like, how good are you at a video game will only work if you're like at the very, very top level, or you're a speedrunner. That stuff worked like maybe 6 or 7 years ago. That's not going to work now. Like, you cannot turn on a stream, put on a game, and just play it with no commentary. Like, you need to treat it like it's a let's play. Even if nobody's there in your chat, you need to be constantly talking. You need to be making commentary of something like that. And there's a tutorial that I want to make at some point that I could do, and I could probably like do examples of it with my old content and new content, which I think is important. It's a thing called uptime and downtime. Your uptime is you're commentating on the game, you're focusing on your game, you are doing anything with conversation related to game. or related to bit or related to like your React or anything like that. It's all focused on that at that point. But then you have the other side of the coin. You have your downtime. Your downtime is you're just chatting. Your downtime is the segment where you get to talk about yourself. Your downtime is you talking about what just occurred, what just happened. You're bringing talking points that elevate your personality. And I think there is a lot of work that can be around those two things. Those two things can work in balance and in tandem with each other. And if you can get a really good balance of both of those things, you're going to be an excellent content creator. Like 100%. You are going to go somewhere. You might not go like crazy, like you might not be like, you know, Matara-Khan, or you might not be Giga or Snuffy or Porcelain Maid or Shy Lily, but you definitely will be ahead of a lot of the other people who do struggle with this. There are thousands, and I mean literally thousands of people who go live every single day to 0 to 1 viewers, and they do not talk at all on stream. They don't say anything. They don't interact with anybody unless somebody does it first. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to be a content creator, you need to grow a backbone. You need to talk to your community. You need to interact in some way. And if you don't do that, then you are not going to see any changes. You're going to do the same thing over and over again. You are making the same mistakes. And so that's the changes that I've noticed, is that when I was starting out, I would not curse. I didn't do any cursing, which is crazy to think about. I only did speedrunning content. I only played one game. I would never do any redeems. I had no redeems. I did not use any of the tools that I could use at my leisure. I never used any opportunity of a collab at the time. I never took. Like, these are things that people pass up and they don't think about it realistically. They don't think it's that big of a deal. Oh, no, it is. It absolutely is a big deal. It is a huge part of your career building. If you don't take any of those certain opportunities, you don't take anything up, you're not going to get very far. And if you do, and it works out, then great. Don't change anything that you're doing. But the likely chance that happens is very, very, very low. Like, the only person I can think of that is very popular, that has never changed anything that they're doing, and they strictly are only good at one thing, and that is them playing the game, is ZFG. ZFG has been playing Ocarina of Time for 13 years. And they've been doing speedruns, they've been doing charity events, they do all that kind of stuff thing. But they do collabs every once in a while with Randomizer. And they are very, very good at Randomizer. But that's the only thing that they do. And sure, them being probably the #1 Ocarina of Time like speedrunning content creator is really big and good for them. But at the end of the day, if something were to happen, if they have to pivot, they have nothing to pivot off of. They could probably pivot off to Majora's Mask or some other Zelda game, but that's only one category. They are limiting themselves to that particular thing. The moment speedrunning becomes like not that big of a thing anymore, they're gonna have to do something different. Like, I don't know if you've heard this news before, but the big charity event Pace is gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
The only 3 big events that we have now is GSA, ESA, and GDQ. And it kind of just feels like a big monopoly right now. There isn't any sort of like smaller communal like charity events for speedrunning anymore. The only things that I can think of is like a couple other friends that do charity events and my own, which is Speed Timber. I do that every September instead of doing a subathon. So it's like kind of heartbreaking, like the how speedrunning, like the speedrunning community is so diverse, and like, well, not diverse in like, you know, a bad way. I mean, like they are so all over the place. They're not all together as one anymore. And I think that's like really, really crazy to me, because I remember growing up seeing GDQ and everything, and everyone's so willing to get together and everything. But now it's like, is it good for our sponsors? Is it good for our marketing? Like, you know, I don't like that aspect of that anymore. Like, it has become super corporate. I know I'm getting a little off topic, but basically what I'm saying is that you can work with these sorts of things if it works out for you. But in the grand scheme of these things is that content creating is ever changing, and if you cannot change, and if you cannot fixate yourself on with a willingness to change, if your content's not doing good now, it's not going to do good later. So you need to find your avenue. You need to find the things that do work, and you need to work towards that. And the moment that that thing stops working, you need to go back on the drawing board and try again and find something that works again. And you got to keep doing that. It's like a door-to-door market salesman. You know, like you go to one door, you're like, okay, hi, ma'am, would you like to? Oh, you slammed the door in my face. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next door. Oh, holds the door open. All right, would you like my candy? Here, you want this? Oh, just slam the door in my face again. All right, try the next one. You know, you gotta try different personalities. You gotta try different things. It's all up in the air. It's all its own thing.
Makes sense, Mister. You have to chase the trends. You have to make sure that you find the things that's going on that's working out, and being able to adapt and jump onto those things. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like the thing is like you don't necessarily have to follow trends. Like you can do your own thing. You can make your own trends even.
True,
I think like it's not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily having to be a follower of things. You can still stand out on your own and make your own unique take on things. Like, for instance, there was this VTuber trend where some people were like, "Hey, show me your boobs on your model," right? Well, some people took that and they were like, "Okay, well, what about showing me your neck? Or showing me your eyes, or showing me your thighs, or showing me your hands." Like, it could be a different part of the model that people are interested in, right? Like, some people have taken that trend and changed it up. There was the trend of you versus the thing that inspired you for your model, right? Like for instance, I put myself in and I put a Shiba next to myself, right? Things like that. And then Twitch said no hips. See, here's the thing. The people who are, I will get into this very specifically, because this is the thing that I feel like is the big misinformation thing. Those rules have always been there. Those rules have always been there. That has never been the problem. The problem is that people have been skirting the line, and they don't know how to like really like figure out a way to like, you know, stop breaking the rules, essentially. Like, I just wish that people would just, you know, follow the guidelines in TOS. Like, if you want to have a model with giant ass tits, by all means, but there is a chance that you might get taken down. Like, you know, like if you want to have a model with massive hips that are shown, be my guest, but there is a chance that some staff member might not like it. Like, I'm sorry, but that is the be all end all. Just follow the rules. This has not been this hasn't been like, people are saying that like VTubers are constantly getting banned in comparison to like camera streamers. No, there has been so many people that are just a normal camera streamer that, like, in terms of like the ratio between a camera streamer and a VTuber getting banned, it's like 8-2. Like,
wow.
There are so many camera people that get banned every single day in comparison to a VTuber, and it's obviously usually because they are breaking the rules and not because of Twitch's system. Yeah, like, does Twitch accidentally target like VTubers specifically? Probably. You could make that assumption. I don't agree with it, because I don't see that. Like, if anything, I should have been probably banned a long time ago because I had such a low cut shirt, and I still haven't. I'm fine. But, you know, there might be a lot of times where people get banned for no reason, and like, I totally understand that. There is that aspect. Like, for instance, Mother3V, who got banned from Twitch for a whole month because she got reported with a fraud claim, which is not even true. She didn't even do anything. So like her getting so that's the one case where I think is really bad, because when you get banned for a whole month, you lose all of your subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah, so you'll just lose all of your income, and that's really bad. No, I agree with that. But there's also people that, you know, spam reports. There's all people, that sort of thing. Like, there is problems with the system. I will not disagree with that. But the people who are saying that, like, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that with your hips or anything like that, that there's always been rules regarding that. There is an attire that you need to stand, that you have to have. And if you don't have that particular attire, then that's, look, you should have thought about these sorts of things when you started making the model 6 months ago. There are rules to be had. There are TOS things that have to be there, and there you can make a good design. You can make a really, really good design without having to break those rules. There are people that skirt the line, and it is a thing, and I understand why. But you know, come on. Anyways, that's about it.
No worries. That was
Yeah.
a good long one. You know, that was a good one. You explained a lot of great things that went to like helping people get better, and like things to look forward to as a content creator, things that you experienced personally. But also you went into a little bit more of the actual industry side of things that's going on with industry that maybe is not that great, including Twitch. Where like, yeah, it's not just black and white. There is definitely some things going on in the background that is really going into. Hello, Salas. Great to see you.
There
Also,
are,
hi,
like,
Yuna.
I'm not gonna like specifically like put anybody down and say like, oh, there's no problems, Twitch is fine, all this stuff. There's always going to be a problem, and I'm never going to be at the forefront backing up a corporation in 100% like acceptance. There's always going to be problems. There's always going to be something that we can change and make for the better. Like, it's not, oh, this thing is bad, this thing is terrible, get over this self, whatever thing. It's constructive feedback. And a lot of people tend to have a problem with trying to explain themselves when it comes to being constructive. They just want to be really, really negative and bring somebody down, or bring a company down, or whatever. And I get that. But at the same time, my thought process is, what if we come from this from a constructive perspective, and give them advice and material that they can work with in a way that is a calm, collective, thoughtful idea, rather than just being an angry mob and saying like, no, change this, you ruined this, blah 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 blah. It's not going to fix anything by being angry. And I understand that anger tends to motivate a lot more people, but in the long like the long road down, like the whole thing, I think it's more beneficial to just focus in on what we can change and how we can change it in a professional and civil manner. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten how to do that.
True, 100%.
Yeah.
Hi, Sile. It's great to see you. Yeah, 100%. I don't normally stream this late. But we had a late minute interview, so it was great to see my one and only mod here. He usually was always like sleeping around this time, or he sleeps during my streams. But this time he's finally awake. He's here. It's great to see you. Also, I thought I smelled something stinky coming around. We have the thickest link here too. If you want the smelly think link, it's the thickest.
Smelly.
If you like Legend of Zelda's, you'll like this one because he's the thickest of the links.
Oh, okay.
I will say I'm glad they put this. Oh wait, sorry. I'm glad that they put the title and the view count back below the stream. When it was above for a few weeks, it messed with my brain.
There is, so for some selected partners, they changed the title and everything and put it up top. And they put the sub button and everything up there too. So it was like so the worst part was when you would try to click on anything, it would cover up the stream. So nobody would interact with it. Like nobody would touch it, nothing like that. And it was really, really annoying because people were not hitting the follow button. People were not hitting subscribe or anything like that because it was above the stream. It was above the stream and it would cover up things. So people didn't want to interact with it. So I'm glad that they removed that for sure. Yeah.
True, 100%. Well, now we have some fun, just get to know you kind of questions, some fun facts about you. Are you ready for them?
Sure, what's up?
Awesome. Fun fact, and this might be a surprise to everyone, total surprise. What's your favorite video game franchise?
Oh, that's a big-winded question because it's like I can't choose between like 6 of them.
Yeah, but, like, knowing
Um,
you and how much you're really into video games, this is probably the hardest question of all.
Oh, it's not even that I'm like super into video games. It's for more proper background, I used to be a video game preservationist. So I would collect, like, for instance, I have a lot of like prototypes of Nintendo. I have like stuff that I'm not supposed to have, but I do have it. Like for instance, I have a Nintendo 3DS dev kit
Oh
that I
wow!
use for streaming. I have a DSi dev kit. I have a Wii kiosk, like stuff like that. That has been like more or less kept safe and like hidden in my house and like not like out in the open where it can get damaged or anything like that. It's very well like kept in a place that is safe. But to give you like my favorite game franchises, I'll give you just my favorite games, and then like not necessarily franchises because the franchise is like encapsulating like a lot of games I necessarily do not like. So favorite games off the top of my head are Xenoblade Chronicles. I genuinely love Xenoblade Chronicles a lot. I think it's one of the most interesting Wii JRPGs out there that unfortunately got really messed with thanks to GameStop, because GameStop was the only reason why the game came out and localized in America, but then they put it up for a $90 price tag. Thanks, GameStop. So that game had a lot of trouble getting around for a little while until they remade it for Switch, and I think a lot of more people played it with Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 3. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, I think it is probably the most interesting Zelda that doesn't have Zelda in it. At least Zelda is only available for like 5 minutes. It is the only Zelda game off the top of my head that doesn't have a lot of dungeons, but does things so differently and interestingly that it makes the characters the focus rather than actually the gameplay. And I think that is such an interesting take. That game was inspired by Earthbound 64, which would be later now known as Mother 3, because Earthbound 64 did not come out. But basically, the inspiration for that game is the reason why Majora's Mask and Animal Crossing exist, which is kind of crazy to think about. What else? Earthbound's a big choice. It's probably one of the few JRPGs that I love to death. It was one of my first video games I ever played as a kid. I grew up playing a Super Famicom on a black and white TV with no sound, and it was the only other game that I had besides Chrono Trigger that was in Japanese. And when I was a kid, I was like, oh wow, they wrote all the words in the squiggly lines. That's kind of weird. Why would they do that? And I would try to decipher it in a journal where I would like write these words and be like, all right, here's what this is in English, I guess. I didn't think there was any other language besides English at the time, so I was just like, oh, that's weird that they would make it in squiggly lines on purpose. It's like I was like, because Earthbound's about aliens, so I'm like, oh, this is some weird alien language or something. I'll figure it out later. So that game, Undertale and Deltarune, I like a lot. Okami is such a big influence for me. I love Okami to death. I think it is one of the best games ever made.
So
it's unfortunate that so many people did not like play it when it first came out and only played it when it got an HD release. And then I saw, oh cool, Okami 2 is happening, but no one talks about Okami then?
Whoa.
Okay. So I'm excited for that. And then Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia is probably the last favorite game. I like that game a lot.
That's really good. I like that. All right. The good list, very good.
A lot of JRPGs. There's 4 of them in there. One of them is a strategy RPG, but definitely a lot of JRPGs. JRPGs have a really good story and just like things that you can mess around with. Yeah.
No, I like it. I like it. I like your style of games. You know, it's very iconic retro. I do like the game preservation. I like that. I'm a kind of advocate of that too. I have a lot of retro games and game systems that I ran out and bought, so I have a lot of retro games. Not lucky enough to be able to get the dev kits. I wish that'd be so cool to get some dev kits. I would be super down for that. But I try to go out and go to like mom and pop stores and try and buy those retro games and game systems, support them. Try to have a catalog for all the games that I used to play when I was a kid. That's actually really good. So yeah, I like your style. Very good. Very good taste. Very good taste. As a retro game lover myself, I definitely approve. Definitely. 100%. The other thing I have for you, Zelda's not an RPG MMO. You know, still, you know, so you're playing a role in a game.
Oh, here we go.
Not technically, technically, but I see what your point is. I say action adventure game. I think there's also a lot of puzzle solving, so it could be a puzzle game too. Well, you could call it a lot of different things. Is Mario RPG? There is a Mario RPG.
There's several Mario RPGs.
You play as a role of Mario, exactly.
You play the role of Mario.
Yeah, can't get more
Mario himself.
Yeah, Mario himself, not Luigi Mario.
Sonic is an RPG, except that RPG sucks. Don't play that.
Don't play that one.
Dark Chronicles is awful. Do not play that. You will have a bad time.
Bad time. Not a good time. Bad time. We do have a spin. Sal actually did throw out a spin for us. So we'll go to the spawn. Oh, the spawn. Much fun. Do another spin for you. Get into. Alright. Controversial take. Are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker?
I can't have either because caffeine. I can only take caffeine in small doses, which is why I drink carbonated drinks instead. Because it's less caffeine and more sugar. Anything that has caffeine in it tends to make me very, very sick. I can handle tea. I cannot handle coffee. Coffee is too strong and it will cause me to either be very, very hyper to the point where I get sick, or I will crash out. like it will not be good. Tea is like unsweet tea and a little bit sweet tea is perfectly fine. If I order something and tea is like super sweet, I will not drink it. Like I just straight up will not drink it. It can be sugarcane sugar or just like straight up normal sugar for tea. But if it is too much of it, I just will straight up not drink it because it'll just make me sick. But the favorite caffeinated drink that I can have that doesn't make me sick is Dr. Pepper. Pepsi makes me sick. I cannot drink Pepsi. Like, I could drink a little bit of it, but if I drink like an entire can, I'll feel ill. Coca-Cola is okay. But anything that's like typically super caffeinated, like if you gave me a Monster, I think my heart would pop. I don't have a heart condition. It's just that like anything caffeine related, just I feel like I just don't feel good. I just ill. It's hard to describe. Like, I'll drink it and like I'll feel very nauseous is probably the best way to take it. Yeah.
Makes sense. No worries. No, not everyone can handle it. It's not even like a medical thing. It's just some people just take things not as good.
It's just not a medical thing. It's just like I feel very, very sick when I drink it. It's just not something good at all. No.
All right. Well, do you like guacamole? Very random. Very different.
Guacamole or salsa or paste.
So no. Like he says it as like, is guacamole a paste or is it a salsa? That's what he's saying.
Guacamole, a paste, or a salsa?
I think the answer is obvious. Like,
salsa is more liquidy.
Is it?
I would say that salsa is a lot more like solid. Solid. So like there's like something else in it. A paste is like a paste. It could like you could definitely have like you know, like it be like a much more solid thing. It depends on how it is, because paste is often used for like pizza and all that kind of stuff. Salsa is typically used for like seasonings of, you know, putting it on chips or like, you know, sandwiches or anything like that. Depends on how you use it. Typically, I would use salsa for like, you know, tacos or anything like that.
Okay.
But I would say guacamole can be either or. It really depends on how you make it. If you water it down with a lot of water, it becomes more of a paste. If you don't put a lot of water in it, becomes more like a salsa. So I would say guacamole is a dip. It's something you dip with your chips or, you know, like breadsticks or something else like that. Like it is a dipping sauce. So I would say, yeah, call it a paste. I would say that it's a dipping sauce.
Yeah,
I would not call it a paste.
Yeah, it's definitely not paste. I think that's where the answer I was coming up with you was like, whoever calls it paste is wrong in every way, shape, or form. It's definitely not salsa that you dip into. You know, it's a salsa.
Yeah, because like the thing is guacamole is not spread. It's not a spreadable thing. Like you can't.
Like you technically can. You technically can, but like that's like it's just if you take.
It's hard to do that though, because it's like it's so clumpy.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
it's like very clumpy. There's like a lot of pockets in it. If you mixed it up really, really well, then maybe it could be like a paste. But
if you just have just the guacamole, like if you just have the avocados, that's all you have is just the avocados. That's it. Yeah, you could probably treat it as like a spread. Because that's all it is. It's just you just smashing up that.
Yeah,
which,
you can
if that's
spread
the case,
it on bread or something like that. But then that's like a paste at some point. But like I would argue very specifically.
Is that really guacamole though? Is this avocado? You know, like avocado toast is technically like a paste you put onto it, but that's not guacamole. Guacamole is salsa. Yeah, like
if you want to cause mass panic, replace the guac with wasabi.
Dude, that'd be a good trick. I would love to do that trick.
That would be awful, but it'd be really funny.
It'd be really funny to do. Really funny to do. And
yeah, I think I'm gonna go with it's a sauce / salsa that I would use, and I would not call it a paste. Yeah, or a dip of some kind. Yeah, definitely a dip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a dip that you can put into it. You can take the salsa and put it onto things like tacos and like burgers. But the thing to spread as paste, that's not guacamole. That's just avocado.
That's just an avocado. Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
I'm thinking every time you said avocado, every time you said avocado, I'm thinking of the kid that got an avocado for Christmas. She's like, avocado.
Avocado.
Thanks. Like she just feels so ungrateful, and I'm like, damn, this kid.
Ew, a kid? Jeez, you should be happy. Avocado's expensive nowadays.
An avocado, like an avocado is expensive.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Either like $4 or $5 like now. And I'm like,
yeah, they're expensive.
They're getting like the price of eggs, and I'm like, I don't want to think about that.
I don't want to. Like we go to our streams, not think about reality. We don't want to. Really quick, what was Master saying? My mom had wasabi on her plate and thought it was guac. She put the whole thing in her mouth and had much concern, but being the tough woman she is, she let it pass within a few minutes. Nice. I thought it was a mint taste when I first had wasabi. I didn't know what it was, so I thought it was a minty taste. So when I tried it, I was like, I'm super wrong. But that's what I first thought.
It starts off like very cooling, and then it hits you in the back of the throat, and you're like, oh.
In my nose. It gets my nose.
Yeah. It's a very nasal throat heat, and it's very, very hard, like hitting. I can take wasabi like directly, and it'll be fine. I've eaten ghost peppers perfectly fine. I have a really high hot heat tolerance, so like any sort of like damaging food that could potentially hurt you is more or less fine for me. I remember one of my mods coming out to visit, and I just took jalapeno sauce and jalapeno peppers and just ate them straight up while we were waiting for our food. And the guy just looked at me, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Well, what's wrong? Oh yeah, I like it. Well, let's move on. We do have to wrap it up pretty soon.
No worries.
But a couple more questions I do want to get through before we end it off. One question that I always love asking is that if you could live in, if you can live in any video game or anime world, what world would you like to live in?
Oh, that's very hard because here's the thing. As much as our world is like a pain in the ass, I would never give it up for anything.
Which world?
I love the world the world that we live in currently
Oh,
right now.
nice. Oh,
Like
yeah.
I would not give it up. Even if there's like a lot of stuff that sucks currently in this world, I would never give it up because it just I'm so deeply connected with it. Um, what other world or anime world would I live in? So basically, isekai.
Yeah.
Uh,
Her favorite color is obviously green. Come on, guys. Come on. Obviously.
this is probably a basic answer, but it's the most simplest one that has cute little animals in it. I would say Pokemon.
Okay, yep. That's my answer.
I would say
Always my
Pokemon.
answer.
I think Pokemon is probably the simplest one. There's nothing bad ever going on in there, and it's just well, not necessarily bad. There's Team Rocket and all that other shit, but like they always get thwarted by some 10-year-old, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about
and
that.
then and then like you have Pokemon and you have little critters and stuff like that. I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
I agree. I want to live in a Pokemon world. Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Very,
I
very
would
true.
love to be in a cool world like Chrono Trigger or something like that, but I feel like I would die.
Yeah, I wouldn't do
like,
very
you know,
well. I wouldn't do very well.
I feel like my dumbass doesn't have enough like to deal with all that shit, so I'm just like, all right, I'll just instantly die. Oh well.
Instantly die. Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. Next question, and that is, if you could collab with any VTuber out there, no matter how big or small would they be, who would you like to collab with?
Oh fuck. There's too many.
I would say Corone would be like really up there.
Corone is definitely up there. Corone is definitely up there. There's a lot of content creators that I don't necessarily look up to, but I do get inspired to some degree. I think the very basic answer I can think of off the top of my head is Iron Mouse. But I feel like everybody kind of just wants to hang out with Iron Mouse because Iron Mouse is just fun to be around with.
True, true.
I think she has a great bubbly personality that really just is endearing and just like enjoyable. A big content creator, big content creator.
Oh no, it doesn't have to be big or small.
Big or small.
Yeah, so
big or small. Yeah,
the reason why I say big or small because obviously there's going to be some Oshis that people want to like look up to and stream with. But also, what if you just don't have a lot of time on your hands and you've been really wanting to like collab?
I was thinking like the two. Like I was thinking of two answers, like one big VTuber and one small VTuber. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head who would be the big one and who would be the small one.
Like a good example for me would be like Yuna, who was just in chat a lot. I love hanging out with her. She's just a really fun person to hang out with. And Sile, like we haven't hung out and did a stream together in a while too. And I think that would just be a blast to do. We all three just don't have a lot of time on our hands because of how much we do stuff. So I would love to just try and get that time set up.
I think my answer for this is big VTuber that I want to collab with would probably be Corone/Iron Mouse.
That'd be good.
And then smaller VTuber. I mean, I've collabed with this person before, but I could collab again with them would be probably Yomi Quinley.
Yep, Yomi's great.
Or Chocovania. I would love to hang out with Choco again, but Choco has always been so busy all the time that I just never get a chance to. But I would also throw in non-VTubers. I would love to. Masay is going to be a VTuber pretty soon. She's been a PNG tuber for a very long time, but I would love to collab with Masay. I did collab with her not too long ago on a Mario Party with Liam Six and Josh Jepson, so that was a lot of fun. But Masay, Sea Dog, Connor, I would love to stream with them because him and Iron Mouse's like just banter and everything is just so endearing and just enjoyable to watch, and I think it's very, very wholesome. I guess like one other person I can think of. I guess like my friend that I've been very close to, Ren. I've been friends with her for a very, very long time, and I just haven't been able to like really get to hang out with them in a while. We both have like some medical things that always kind of get in the way when it comes to like streaming together. And it's just been kind of very difficult to kind of like sit down and like actually talk to Ren in a way that is like emotionally like there's like an emotional thing there. Like it's not necessarily just like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. How about you? Oh, I'm also good. Like there's no emotional like attachment to like the conversation, or basically there's not enough nuance or like anything at like that gives like that evokes like enough attention or anything to it. So like we never have those sorts of conversations anymore because we're just either too busy or like one or the other is not feeling so well. And I think that's just kind of like the world just being like, hey, go do your other thing. You could collab with them later. And I'm just like, but I want to do it now, you know?
Do it now.
So I think it's just something that I've kind of gotten. It's kind of made me a little sad actually, because I know I've known Ren for a very long time. I knew them before they blew up very recently, and I'm not gonna say this necessarily because it doesn't it's not entirely true. But you know, when people blow up, they tend to get a lot more serious about their content, and they get a lot more, driven towards other big opportunities, and that makes me happy for them. I am so proud of Ren. I want Ren to be successful. I want Ren to be happy and do all these sorts of things. But my interpersonal selfishness at the same time is like, well, man, I wish I get to hang out with them more. I wish I could to talk to them more and do these things with them more, and I just don't get to. And I understand that comes off as incredibly selfish and, really not necessarily mean-spirited, but it's just like, I don't want to wish someone who is doing successfully like suddenly be like not successful anymore. Like, no, that'd be horrible. But I do want to like have like some time open at one point to just kind of like just hang out more and do collabs, and like even it doesn't even necessarily have to be on stream either. It could be off stream too. Like I feel like that's the same. I feel the same way with a lot of other peers that have not necessarily outgrown me, but they are definitely much larger than I am, and we've all been around VTubing for a long time. And as much as I love seeing them succeed and be happy and all these sorts of things, my side brain is like, damn, I'm either behind and I need to work harder, or I just wish that maybe there was like a time where we get to hang out and do things together. I feel, I guess like sometimes I feel a little lonely, but not in the case of like, oh, this is my fault or their fault or anything like that. It's just we're all doing our own thing, and we all have to just kind of lock in and try to do our own stuff. And I think that's important to realize. Like, it's not necessarily anyone's fault when it comes to that. It's just how streaming and content creating is. Content creation is a big terminal. People come and people will go. It doesn't necessarily mean we're not friends anymore. It's just that we're just maybe not as close anymore, or we just haven't been able to do anything together. So,
welcome to adulthood.
Yeah, that's essentially
what
it
is.
It is a very much like adulthood take on content creation, and I don't want this to like necessarily sound sad, because it's not a sad thing. Like it's good. I want people to succeed. I want people to push to their limits and be better than they were yesterday. But my heart is just like, man, I wish I spent more time with them when they were, more available. I wish I spent more time with them when they were around a lot more, so that I could do that. But now I don't have that chance anymore because, they're busy doing these sorts of things. And that aspect does make me a little sad. But I've gone to not necessarily ignore it, but kind of like realize like it's important that I feel this way, but not to let it build up. Like it is totally normal to feel these ways because there's people. I'm sure there's like think of it this way. You went to high school with this friend, right? And you were really really close with them, but then they moved away and they went to high school, and then turns out later on this friend that you were super close to, they became super mega famous. They become like a huge celebrity, and they don't either they don't remember you, or they don't talk to you, or anything like that. And it's not that you didn't stop being friends. Like, you don't know if you're not going to be friends anymore. It's just that you don't still talk anymore. And it's kind of like that, where life gets in the way, or life just kind of just proceeds to keep going. And I think that once life goes very well for somebody, it doesn't stop, right? It just keeps going. So I would also argue that once you get up to that level, that those people are often very lonely too, because then now they're suffering with the idea of, oh, who are my real friends, right? Like, who can I talk to, who can I trust, that sort of thing. And I feel like that's a big thing that people have a problem with. So it's vice versa kind of thing. Like, it's like, I'm glad that my friends are successful, but I also know that my friend probably is not having, like, they probably are struggling just as much as I am with the idea. I think communication's a big important thing, but if there's no communication, then, like, what can you do? You live and you keep going and you're having fun. And I think that's the important thing about content creation is, even if people come and people go, you're still doing your same shit and you're still having fun. So
Makes sense. Makes sense. Good night, Viku. But yeah, no, I totally agree with that 100%. It's just, as you grow up and get older, you just find yourself having less time to do a lot of different things, unfortunately. But as long as you guys stay connected the best way you can by either throwing memes at each other, which I do with my friends, we just randomly just throw memes at each other, and we're just like, that's funny. So that's how we stay connected.
Ren will still send me TikToks every once in a while. Like, I know that they'll send me like a TikTok and they'll be like, "Oh, I thought of you," or something like that. And I think that's endearing and it's very sweet. But my brain is also still like, man, I want to hang out. Like an hour or two. Like, it doesn't have to be very long. Or like, I want to do this on stream. Like, stuff like that. And it sounds like I'm making it a big deal. It's really not. It's just something I think about. It's just like, oh man,
Oh man,
like, people get busy. I totally understand. I get busy. Like, there's sometimes where I don't have time for even my other closer friends that are not necessarily streamer friends. Like, it is what it is. I had a long talk with somebody this morning about this, where it's just like, people like, you have friends, and then you have your streamer friends, and then you have like your close friends, and then sometimes they're not all available, and it is what it is. Like, I think winter is a hard season for people. I feel like everyone gets hit with seasonal depression, or people are just so busy during the first two months. The first 2 months of every year is like super busy. Like, everyone's doing their own thing. Like, nobody is willing to do anything else besides by focusing on themselves. Especially January. Do you know how many people do like the New Year's resolution of, oh, I'm going to lose weight, and then they focus on that for the entire month and nothing else? Oh my god. Yeah, like, it's not a you or them thing. It's just societal, like, kind of like norms.
True. No, I agree.
I don't take any of this sort of thing personally. Like, if one day Ren just stopped talking to me, I'd be like, oh man, that's kind of sad. Or like Yomi stopped talking to me, for example. Like, I'd be a little sad, but then I'd be like, and you know what? No, you go get that, bag. You go do all those things, and you have a fun time doing it, okay? Like, I'm gonna be behind you 100%. Even if I'm lurking in the chat and I'm not really saying all that much anymore, it's fine. Like, you do you. I'm gonna be behind you 110% regardless. Even if we're not that close anymore.
True. Yep, 100%. Hi, lady. But yeah, no, I definitely agree on that kind of stuff. It's just, you feel envious a little bit when it comes to this kind of stuff, because you wanted to spend time with them as well. But as time goes on, keep rooting for them in the back lines. Just keep moving forward, and just keep doing your bets. And maybe one day, the stars will align and you'll be able to see each other.
Yeah, that's basically how I look at it.
Perfect. I love it. What would you like to accomplish next in your career? What's your next goal?
Oh, see, that's the thing. I never come up with any goals anymore because I don't know where my stopping point is. I can't really think of one because I already got YouTube partner, I already got Twitch partner. What else can I really go for? I guess
Can you
like
do
numbers,
next?
but the thing is I dislike thinking about numbers. I hate that. And I feel like that's such a huge pitfall that a lot of content creators fall into is like, all right, we'll just keep aiming for the next big number. And I'm like, number doesn't do anything though. Like at the end of the day, like that really is not going to push you that much further than like trying new challenges or anything like that. So what I try to do is I try to challenge myself with new things. So my idea is I want to challenge myself to try different things. Like, for instance, trying to push more collabs now, trying to push more different kinds of content rather than just only Nintendo related stuff. Like, things like that. One of the things that I'm pushing for this year is I want to put like my my VTuber team that I'm working on at the full front. I want to push that. You also have Vdash, the VTuber game, right? I haven't worked on Vdash in a long time. The original sprite artist that was helping me work with that kind of just dipped and just didn't say anything. So I've been struggling to find a sprite artist that can actually help me do stuff in the Zelda Minish Cap art style. So basically that project has been kind of like put on the back burner. I still want to make it. I still think it would be great, but I have no one to turn to in terms of making Minish Cap art sprites. So I kind of just like put it away for right now and put other projects at the forefront. Like for instance, like again, I mentioned the VTuber group that I'm working on, where I kind of just want to make a small group of friends that I can always collab with and always talk to and hang out with. And I think that is going to push me further with my friends than like trying to just not like, you know, like I want to make like a communal like kind of group thing. And I think it's important to like build bridges to those other communities. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that anymore because they're kind of scared to. I understand it being scared of trying to reach out to other people and extending that arm because there is a chance that that arm can get bitten off. I totally understand that. But I think that you are severely limiting yourself by not coming up with these sorts of goals, by not trying to push yourself through these boundaries. Like, I understand, you know, people having anxieties and people having trouble with trying to build themselves apart and trying to make these sorts of goals for themselves. But if you really, really want to try for the better, if you really want to try accomplishing something that's different for once, you really, really have to step out of your boundaries and your box. And I know that's hard for some people, so I don't necessarily try to push it too hard. But I would argue that if you can get out of your comfort zone, you can get out of the cardboard box that you sit in, you're going to do great. So.
I like that. That's a good idea. Really good advice. Really good advice. You just have to keep growing, keep moving up. And even you want to try new things. I like that. I like that. I like to see what you do next. I am looking forward to seeing it. The cat's on my hand, so I can't move my hand. I can't move my arm.
All
right, last question of the night. Then wrapping up the whole thing. Try and keep it a little bit shorter. But I still want to hear your answer on this because I'm really curious. Because you've been giving us a lot of great advice throughout the entire interview, but just give us one last good piece of advice. What advice do you want to give to any of those who want to get into streaming / VTuber?
Don't be anybody but yourself. I feel like there's so many people that do this. There's even like controversy on Twitch and like Twitter where people like will get a VTuber model that looks exactly like somebody else, or they'll copy off of somebody else, and they'll even copy their voice, they'll copy their mannerisms, they'll do those sorts of things. And I sit there and I'm just like, there is so much more to you than this. Like, you have unique attributes that you can play into your own thing. Like, you do not need to be somebody else. And in fact, I kind of, when I see this, I almost kind of find it hurtful. Not hurtful towards the person that they want to be, but hurtful to themselves. I feel like you faking something that is not you is incredibly mentally harmful to you, because the moment you try to be somebody else and then you get like somewhere with it and then you try something different, no one's going to want that. They only want the fake personality that you made for yourself. And I think that is something that people struggle with. Like, that is going to cause a lot of imposter syndrome. At the end of the day, like, you're doing the things that you like. You do the things that you enjoy. If you want to pretend to be somebody and that's what you want, then sure, by all means. But I think you are missing out on the whole idea of what streaming and VTubing is at its core. And that is, you could be anything you want to be. And I think a lot of people have super focused in on, well, I could be Shy Lily, or I could be Camilla, or I could be Porcelain Maid or someone else, and no one has to tell me otherwise because I could be whoever I want to be. And I'm like, that's great, but you're missing the whole point. You like, the whole point like went right over your head. You know, like it's like, for instance, I could have just been I could have just took Corone's design and like made like a different version of it and called it a day, but I didn't. You know, like, I know Ren could have easily, like, because Ren also likes Corone. Ren could have done the same thing, but they didn't. They're like a Yakuza character. Like, everyone has different inspirations and aspirations and things that like will make them unique. And I think that they just need to take that step in that direction instead of following other people's courses. Content creation is not just one single path. It is thousands of paths. Like, think of it as a D&D game that just never ends, and you're constantly going in different directions. So I think for my only advice is, it doesn't matter what equipment you have. If you have a very pretty model, or you know, a PNG tuber, or if you have a shitty mic, or only doing retro games or new games or Fortnite, as long as you're true to yourself and as long as you're doing the things that you love and enjoy and you're being who you are, that is your personality will shine through all of that. And I think that is the best advice I can give.
Great advice. I like that. Do the things you want to do, but you know, have your personality in it. You know, be personal. You know, be different. Be creative. You know, have fun. Exactly. I like that. Well, hey, that's all the questions I have for you. Sorry. Also, did I tell you that I'm allergic to cats?
No.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cats. I still love my guy.
That's crazy.
I still love my guy. I love my guy dead. But I didn't know I was allergic to cats until a month later.
Oh no.
So he stuck with me and I'm stuck with him. So it's fine. But anyway, thank you so much for answering all my questions. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you. That was a lot. There's a lot to talk about, and you went through a lot of great things. I'll have to look back on this VOD to take some notes. I definitely learn from you, and I do like I kind of look up to you in a way, because I do like to see all this kind of things you do, you know, like hearing you talk about this kind of stuff is actually really inspirational. I love that. It's really cool. As a smaller content creator myself who tries to do new things, I do like what you said, and I really do like it, you know.
Like, I hate giving the stupid, like, okay, I see this happen so many times, like, where people like give this advice where they're just like, oh, just follow trends and get lucky, and I'm just like, shut up. That's not how that works. It's really not. You really just need to, like, you put in what you get. Like, and if you show like your full force of effort, like, if you are putting your full force effort and it really shows, people will stick around. Like, people will come for you, and they will come to your channel because they like that about you. They like that you're putting your full force. They like that you give a shit. Like, I cannot stand the general advice that you get on social media where it's just, oh, just, you know, do trends and, like, you know, do these sorts of things and then you'll get lucky and you'll be fine. I'm like, No. Like, you should only do the things that you enjoy. Like, don't push yourself to do ASMR if you hate ASMR. Like, that's stupid. Like, don't
True.
do just chatting if you don't like just chatting. Like, you can take these suggestions with a grain of salt. Like, I think that just chatting helps a lot of people, especially within the first 1 or 2 hours of your stream should be just chatting, because you get people to talk about you in a personal manner instead of the game at the forefront, because the game is going to be taking over your like most of your brain power after that. But some people don't do that. Some people just jump right in the game. That's totally fine, and it works out for them. If your personality bounces off the game a lot better than you just talking to yourself and your community, then by all means, you got to work with what you have, and don't be pressured into doing things that you don't want to do. Like, I feel like that happens so often in this community, that people just do things because, just this other person does it and they said it worked for them. Yeah, it worked for them because it's unique to them. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be unique for you. It's like people do VTuber interviews, right? I know some people do it very, very well. There might be some people that just don't do it very well at all, and they just are forcing themselves to do it, right?
For sure.
There might be some people that they're like, oh man, I really, really like Minecraft, and I really love doing Minecraft, but then they get forced into doing like this other aspect of a mod that makes Minecraft not Minecraft, and they're like, well, it's popular and everyone's doing it, but I hate it. Why? When you can make Minecraft is such a big thing, you can do whatever you want. Like, come on, you don't have to do like this one specific thing because someone else told you to. So I always take recommendations with a grain of salt, but suggestions and everything like that are always up in the air. It may work for you, it may not work for you, and I would just write that as a disclaimer. But general advice is you can take it or you can not take it. You don't have to, and that's the whole point about like streaming, is like when you help each other out. I think it's more important to help other people than to just only be taking and taking and taking for yourself.
True.
So.
Yeah, just like, if you enjoy something and you see something popping off into something you enjoy, definitely consider it. But if you don't like it, don't force yourself to do it, you know?
No.
Like, Minecraft is something that is massive. Everyone loves to play Minecraft. I have so many people who've asked me to play Minecraft. It's not my jam. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's a great, phenomenal game, and I have all the respect for it. I remember when it first came out, it was just a small-time little indie game, and now it's as big as it is, you know? It's just not my jam, so I would never want to play it, even though I know for a fact I would get a lot more followers if I started streaming that game. And also, I knew a lot of my own followers would love to see me play the game. It's just not my jam, which is not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. You enjoy what I enjoy.
There's stuff that people don't vibe and jive with. Like, that's a normal thing. Like, again, I mentioned that I don't do very well with hero shooters. I can't get into them because I feel like if I perform badly, it's going to reflect on other people, and that's just how I think about it. I think about it from a team aspect. If I'm not doing very well on my team, what's the point of me being there? I'm being carried by everybody else. I don't want to do that. I want to put my full force effort into it, and if I'm not good at it, then why do I bother playing? You know? It's just stuff like that. Like, I think about these things in a very logical and literal way, and maybe that can be to my downfall. That could be for my detriment too, because maybe I'm missing a lot of things there, you know. Like, and I guess it does depend on who you play with, but my brain is, if I'm not doing my best, then I'm letting my teammates down, and that's just how I think. So, you know. And
again, like you said, like, it's not your jam. So, like, yeah, you might be missing out on a little bit of it, but
I'm not
what?
I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum. Basically, if you like Rivals, cool, but I'm not gonna tell you that you shouldn't like it because I'm bad at it.
Exactly. Like I said, there's content for everyone. So even though it's probably a popular game to play right now, but like, you don't have to always watch it. I don't really watch a lot of other people play Marvel Rivals. I mostly watch a lot of people play like Dead by Daylight and like
Oh God.
Genshin and stuff like that.
Dead
Yeah,
by Daylight.
I,
Oh,
I
God.
I stopped playing Dead by Daylight. I do want to kind of go back into it, but it does
Mhm.
come and go. It does come and go.
Yeah.
So I totally agree on that. But yeah,
Mhm.
with that said, I wanted to say one more time, thank you guys so much for joining in. You guys are all freaking
Mhm.
amazing. Thank you
Mhm.
so much, Aki, to come on my stream and give me
Of
your
course.
time.
I'm
I really
glad that we
appreciate
could
it.
still do it. I'm really sorry that it was like super late and
So
unplanned. I was sitting at my desk. I was like, I'm gonna lock in, and I fell asleep.
it's okay. It's all fine. It
Yeah.
happens. It happens. You're a very busy person, so I just appreciate you guys giving me your time to come on my show. I like it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Well,
Of course.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you. While we wrap it up, if you guys have any final questions, feel free to ask right now. I also like to give my thank you for the follow. I also like to give my my guests the first opportunity to send a raid out. Is there anyone you'd like us to raid?
Oh, one of my editors actually just went live. I think. Let me see here. Let's see if he's still alive.
Is it ID?
Still alive. No, ID is not streaming right now. I don't think. Let me see.
He helped me with my audio. And he did a really good job
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, one of my editors is currently streaming right now. He's playing Balatro, so I'm
Oh.
down to raid him if you down for it.
Yeah, of course. Just send me his name in Discord so I can look him up.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Cool view.
Mm-hmm.
Give him all the loves, give him all the respects and stuff like that. Seems like a cool guy, I like his glasses. Let's go give him an amazing raid. Again, thank you guys so much for joining in. Orange, Aki,
Mm-hmm.
where can people find you?
You could find me just about anywhere with the tag Orange is Orange because it's the same for literally everything. So like you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, just about anywhere. As long as it has Orange is Orange as the name, it's probably me. And if not, then it's probably someone being an imposter. But you know, I haven't had that problem in a long time, so I don't think that's been the case. But my main platforms are definitely Twitch and YouTube, as well as Twitter and Blue Sky. I do Instagram and TikTok, but I don't really check those too often. I kind of just only post the shorts and artwork there, so that's a good place to find like any of my artwork on Instagram and any of my shorts on or shorts or TikToks on or reels, excuse me, on Instagram and TikTok. Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like it. Well, go follow her if you have not followed her yet.
Yeah.
She just does amazing content. She does a butt ton of amazing content, and you should love all the advice she gives out. Like, I definitely can't wait to see some more tutorial videos. It seems like tutorial videos would be a next really good thing for you.
Yeah,
I can definitely
I think I could come up with quite a bit of tutorials because I have a lot of ideas that can just really show what StreamerBot can do and what OBS can do. And
well, hey, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be really cool.
I think it'd be a great idea. So yeah,
definitely. When you get one for StreamerBot, send it to me. I want to see it.
Oh, absolutely, for sure, I will. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's send this raid out to this lovely man over here. Check him out and do all of his cards. Thank you guys so much for joining in. You guys all freaking amazing. We'll see you next time. Don't leave Discord yet, okay?
Okay, sure.
Awesome. Hey, bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.